the end of the year.
It's the name of the song. The intro song is actually called Raji Gaji,
Nice.
which is quite a good song.
Yeah.
It's quite a good name, isn't it?
That's the first time I've mentioned that.
Yeah, is that you on the headphones? Yeah. And actually, Raji Gaji was made by Tim's brother, Dan.
Oh.
So we're keeping it in the family here.
That's better.
So yeah, I can still hear that, Tim. I
I
don't know
know.
why I'm hearing something there.
It might be
What's
coming out.
going on?
It's probably coming out the monitor.
Yeah, I'll just turn that down.
I'll try.
You've been watching Netflix on that monitor, Tim. So
Hey,
you've been doing.
what do you think? Gaps.
Glasses, yeah.
I know.
That's good.
They're real though. They're not like sort of
Yeah.
bought from Asda or out. They're proper
But you, have,
prescription.
but you have to cross your leg like that, and then you got to be really serious when you answer the questions. Is that?
Ah, okay. Then. Hold on a minute. So, Laura.
So, Laura. So when you were 5, we'll go right back there. Yeah, it is. I believe me, it ends up being a therapy session. Sometimes it is. You've got to
Right.
remind yourself which podcast are
That's
we
not
in?
dropping.
No, it's fine. It's all
It
right.
drops every single
really?
time.
Well,
And I'm like,
we've
ah,
been
no.
having problems, and I've got up and moved it.
That echo gone
Doing
now?
all that. That's fine, I
Yeah.
think, Tim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Affirmative, no echo. It feels like it's Tim's first day, but it's not, is it? It's kind of. I don't want to insult
First
Tim.
day
right?
being here. But yeah, it's all my
Yeah,
kit.
I know,
Tim's
'cause
first
you
day.
know what?
It's a
I know-
podcast in its own right, that, isn't it?
Tim's first day, yeah. The thing is, it's because Alice is usually at the helm. Tim is Alice's boss, but Alice is in Australia at the
Oh,
minute.
right.
She's
How
living it up,
considerate.
isn't she? So yeah.
Stories.
But I think there's. I think she's going to enjoy the coffee in Australia as well, because the coffee in Australia
better
is
than here.
supposed to be. It's supposed to be really good. Like the flat whites are supposed to be like renowned for flat whites in Australia. Is that right? Am I right? Am I wrong?
Where
Here?
do you get that from? Google.
No, loads of podcasts, but also the guy. Oh, what's it? Highbridge Street. What's the coffee shop on Highbridge Street?
Oh,
It's not. It's
Oh,
not
Laneway.
Laneway
Yeah.
Coffee. Laneway Coffee. The guy, I've talked to him before. Kind of interviewed him, and we did something in his coffee shop, and he lived in Australia. And then he brought that kind of Australian coffee and that
I
vibe back
remember
and the
reading
flat
that
white. Do you know what I
somewhere.
mean?
Yeah.
So
it's only one way to find out. Is that
Well,
like a
go
word
on.
to our sponsors? Let's send to Australia for a week.
we have to go to Australia
Yeah,
for a
need to do
week.
some
All three of us
research.
will go just find out the origin of the flat white.
Yeah. No, we just need to pay for the room first. Do you know what I mean? Baby steps and all that kind of stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? We're always trying to get ahead of our skis, don't we? But,
I know. Laura, what do you think then of our little,
What do you
our
like?
little
I love
universe
it.
that we've
Do you like
created?
It's nice, lovely and cosy.
it's all right.
It
Yeah.
is, isn't it? If you
Well,
came in earlier, it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
I've been in since like 8 o'clock, so I've had the heating on, and it's pretty toasty now. But we'll find out in the summer what it's like.
Well, we keep on saying it's like a
Yeah.
man pad kids who get through out of the house.
Yeah.
We've got a
Yeah.
shower as well.
Escape. Has it?
Showers,
Yeah.
full
So this
shebang.
was meant to be green room, was it?
This
Or-
was a green room,
Yeah.
until we were gifted it by
Yeah.
Rick from
Yes.
the Sheepfolds.
We very much appreciate it, Rick. Well, yeah, it keeps changing all the time, doesn't it? It started with one. Hi, Rick.
All right.
He needs to come on as well, Rick. You need to come on this. So, Laura, I've never met you before.
No.
I'm really intrigued. And Chris showed us Geordie Scran, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your main channel
Yeah.
on
It's
Instagram.
a bit popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a tad. Just a tad popular. But I did notice ADHD underneath,
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All the
because
best people are.
Well, we chatted about that, didn't we?
this is going to be an interesting
common
conversation. It's can you stop talking in between and wait for the next person to talk? As my brain goes off on the 15th different subject, I need to finish the one I'm actually having now.
It's all right because I'll be able to keep up with you, no problem.
Yeah. Try sitting in one of our kind of creative meetings that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's wild. I mean,
Rabbit hole in a rabbit hole.
this
in
is
a
where the
rabbit
Sam
hole.
Bend and Stink came
That's
from.
how it happened. Yeah, it is.
This was an idea in a WhatsApp channel, and we're like, oh yeah, and that's hence the bench is named after because it looks like a little dog, so that's and that's
You
why
can't
it's
stroke
called
his
Gordon.
belly, 'cause it's a little
No.
bit spelky.
Yeah.
But if you
Oh,
stroke
okay.
He's
the
smooth
top,
on the top. You can stroke him on the top, but if you rub his belly, you get a spell. That's what we're saying. So the whole thing's like got a story, but yeah, ADHD. Are
Yeah.
you officially diagnosed and all that?
Yeah. It was 3 years ago now. Got
Was it?
diagnosed. Yeah.
Right.
Tried the medication for a while and then
Are you currently medicated?
No, I haven't been for about a year now.
So you manage by doing other means?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
And what do you do to kind of manage?
The supplements looking after my diet, funnily enough, is one of the main thing.
It's a complete occupational hazard for you when
yeah.
you do what you do.
Yeah, definitely. But I think just keeping an eye on stuff, making sure just that it sounds really simple, but doing things in the right order throughout the day. Like making sure I get up and out and active in the morning, sets up the rest of the day kind of thing.
I heard there's a lot of people like ADHD, the messy, the scrappy and all that kind of stuff. I've got a lovely combination. OCD as well.
Oh, yeah.
So everything's tidy, but you're crazy and manic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
And
I
your
know what
brain
you
goes off. So, and I sometimes pause. I'm pausing because I'm trying to keep up with what's going on in my brain. So you feel like you're a bit of a dum-dum. Do you know what I mean? When
No, I know what you mean.
I'm because I'm watching this back going, can you just spit the word out, Dan? Are you thinking about something? And my brain's off on a tangent.
Yeah.
But it's great for creativity.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But it's kind of bad when you try and have an actual conversation sometimes, you know?
So how did you get to the point of being diagnosed? What was the...
I went through like loads of sort of things that, because it wasn't, it's not very well recognised in females and stuff like that, and as an older female it kind of started to show itself a little bit more. Like girls mask a lot more than lads do and stuff like that. So in school I was fine. I struggled to concentrate on things that didn't interest us, but it was never a glaringly obvious problem.
It seems like a normal thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Aye.
So like, apparently girls mask more, we're more socially aware, so we're less likely to be like outspoken or the typical what you would maybe think as a ADHD kid. So when I noticed for ages, but then there was just loads of little things that kind of not even little things, loads of things that cropped up that I was like, that's actually a comorbidity of ADHD.
Yeah.
Read more into it, got chatting with a girl who'd been recently diagnosed as well, and then it was like, light bulb moment. Went and got diagnosed and they're like, yeah, absolutely.
And has the diagnosis helped? And like in terms of like frame your lifestyle, and even how you communicate with people, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I think it made us realise I was really bad at working for other people.
Well, do you know what it is, Laura? That's exactly what we've been talking about. Because I would kind of say I'm almost unemployable.
Yeah.
Unless we create our own worlds entirely.
But yeah, well, that's the thing. You're never comfortable in somebody else's world because you're always like, yeah, but I want to do this. Yeah, but I can do that. But I don't want to be restricted to this kind of place that you're putting us in.
But it's hard though because you get labelled like in a workplace either disruptive or disorganised or you don't want to collaborate with. It's nothing like that at all, is it?
I was just getting bored. I'd do something for so long and then I'd be like, I've completely lost interest in this now. Whereas now when like it made us take the jump to go and work for myself. So then now I don't really get bored of stuff because it changes all the time. Every week is completely different. So it's like.
So how did that jump happen then? So in terms of your background and then how you got into blogging, and Geordie Scran came about. Tell us about that.
So Geordie Scran's been going for 5 years now. And I used to just go out for dinner every week with my dad, have a catch up, and I used to go and try and find interesting places to go. Yeah. And I took a picture of my breakfast one day and then put that on my personal account. It got loads of likes and stuff, and I was like, there might be something in this, but I'm just going to really annoy all my mates if I'm just posting pictures of my food all the time.
Do you remember what it was, the breakfast?
Yeah, it was a Blake's Eggs Benedict.
I like Blake's as well.
Blake's was like an institution for decades.
Yeah. Every meeting I have in town's in Blake's.
Yeah, it's so funny though. They messaged like 3 or 4 months ago. I'm like, can we use your picture? I was like, which one? They're like, this one. I was like, it's 5 years old. I was like, yeah, crack on, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it was that. And then I went into live stream video producing in like 6 months before lockdown.
Really?
Yeah, which went mental.
Yeah, how did that happen?
I just saw a job going. I was a photographer at the time, and then I went and worked at Crafters Companion, so Sarah Davies of Dragon's Den, her company. Live stream video producer there throughout the pandemic, which was a bit nuts. She heard I had a food blog. There was a load of other staff furloughed, so I started doing her socials for her and stuff like that.
Good timing though, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
Welcome on the blog, by the way.
Oh, we got it
wrong. Podcast, sorry, not blog. Totally different thing.
Make it a blog, I mean. Yeah, if you write it down, it's a blog, isn't it? It's a vlog now.
Yeah, it's blog.
Just transcript it, it'll be fine.
Right. That's it. A vlog, a blog. It's kind of all merges into the same thing, doesn't it, really? Podcast. You've done have you done podcasts before as well?
Yeah, I've done a couple, more ADHD related and mental health kind of ones and stuff before. Okay. Yeah. Not one specifically about food and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can talk about ADHD for like an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up getting a client that was an ADHD app. So I had to go and set up a TikTok and everything like that ended up with 50,000 followers on the back of in 3 months trying to launch an app for people with ADHD.
Really?
So yeah.
So would you say ADHD complements what you do?
Yes.
In terms of the content stuff and how organised you have to be, I guess, to kind of work in social media space. And
I'm lucky because I'm in a position where I've got like admin assistant and stuff now, so they can kind of take care of the running side of it and stuff. And I can be a bit more free to get stuck into doing the creativity. For social media, like having an ADHD brain's like you're constantly looking for the next dopamine hit anyway, so you almost got that ability to tap into your audience and tap into what they're looking for without them even really realising it. Do you know what I mean? You're a step ahead of the game.
Yeah. So how do you go from one post, having breakfast with your dad, to having 25,000 followers?
Yeah, it's a bit of a jump.
What's the journey?
Yeah. The pandemic, it was like, it was bizarre because I had a few thousand, like maybe 4,000 followers before COVID hit.
I do aspire to that one day.
4,000 or
4,000.
I mean, I remember I got my first review and I was like, this is mint, this. I've just got I turned it on my own thinking I wasn't allowed to bring anyone with us and everything. But because I remember getting to the point where they're like, oh, we're going to shut all the restaurants and stuff. And I was like, I've got a page that reviews restaurants. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
But it was around the time where there was loads of businesses who obviously had been given the notice to close or whatever, but hadn't been prepared enough to go on Deliveroo, Just Eat or anything like that, but try to do collections, trying desperately to still at least maintain some sort of customer base. So I think I put something up one day and was like, anyone who is still open and doing collections but hasn't had a chance to push it yet, just give us a message and I'll give you a shout out. And then before I knew it, I was just having this conversation with loads of businesses and they were just going, if we send you some food, can you go and give us a shout and do some content?
I was going to say, that's exactly the origin story. Do you know that?
I think
the
you've
kind of
mentioned
origin
it,
story of Little Heroes was, we were involved in running outdoor markets. We got the call to say you can't trade outside until we've got measures in place and all the COVID stuff. And we basically said to all of the producers, drop some stuff off with us, and we're gonna try and build a warehouse and ship this stuff out to people on their doorstep.
Yeah, it's just like responding to what happened in the world. And then I was making a film about a dairyman because he was delivering fruit and veg, and I thought, what's he doing? Delivering fruit and veg. So I asked him. He said, "Oh, yeah, because all my supplies are stopped because there's no coffee shops open." So he was delivering fruit and veg to old people and stuff like that, just to kind of make a living. So I made a 60-second film and named it. It was something different, but ended up calling it "Coping in the Crisis." And then we did 14. Like you got in touch with me.
You missed that little bit out where I effectively stalked you for about 6 weeks.
You got in touch with us, and we did. Even with Tim, we did the food bank, didn't we, Tim? I'm forgetting which one. The Time Out Food Bank?
Was the Bay Food Bank?
Oh, the Beer Food Bank, yeah. So Tim got me in touch with the Beer Food Bank, and I did. So we're like 2 or 3 in, and then Chris rang me up and said, "I love what you're doing here." And then we had a conversation. So I'm on the phone outside in the front garden, teaching me kids across a kitchen table during the day, but trying to find the means to kind of keep creative and do something which I needed for me. Do you know what I mean? At some point in time. So then, I don't know, I'd spin forward 14 films later, and then, I'm part of Food and Drink Northeast.
I remember the exact words.
Food boxes off at people's houses, you know what I mean?
The exact words I said to you, you won't remember them.
No, I can't remember.
I said, Dan, your films, I said, they look like as if someone had crawled inside my head and put a projector over my eyes.
That's brilliant, yeah. But we talked
because the tone was so bang on and so right that I just thought we've got to get involved.
It was just being authentic as well and creating a campaign to do something as well as keep you sane. When you're not getting paid, you're not doing a thing, you're well shut down, you don't know what's going to happen. And being a part of this just kind of really helped me throughout the whole thing. And I think, man, Chris, if you combine us both together, it's like the perfect kind of brain power. And we've been talking about the podcast for 4 years, really. So, and it just, last year, I don't know, just timing. Three months ago, all of a sudden, right now, doing this, we're going to get the back together, we're going to do this, we're going to make a business, and blah, 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 and then we're all, and then we're here.
It's probably because, you know this, the last post-COVID, it's just been a really noisy space.
Yes,
I felt like it was probably going to be hard for us to have done this in that period of time. And especially the last 2 years, I think it would have got lost. But I think now, as things are changing again, obviously
definitely.
in hospitality and food and drink, and it's tough for people. So I think the space to have authentic voices and bring out those stories about people, and is sort of more pertinent again now.
Definitely. I think definitely post-COVID it was saturated. I think that's probably when I was like asked to be on the most podcasts in like a very, very short space of time. But I think a lot of them kind of who had the extra time to be able to do it then don't have it anymore.
But that's the thing, you know. It's kind of having the time and doing that, and life just got back into the swing of things, and then you just got into, I need to earn a living, I need to work, and then, but it was always in the back of my mind, I'm like, we should have done this, we should have done that, we could be doing this. And we both were like, you know, you're separated on two little islands, you're both thinking the same thing, and then 4 years later you go on, let's get the band back together.
Yeah.
It was like that. You know?
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
It just feels right.
So a couple of solo albums and that.
Couple of solo albums, then we came back and went, no, that's actually reform, but it just feels right. Plus also, it's not just about food and drink, it's about people, community.
Yeah.
Everything has to have a purpose, and that's the whole point in what we're trying to do, is just to kind of give a voice, and this is the voice of everything that we're going to be doing outside of just a podcast as well.
Definitely. I think loads of people, when I started varying up my content and stuff in the pandemic and stuff, food is the one thing that does bring people together.
It does,
So like having a conversation, because I lived on my own, I was still working, but very much just stuck in four walls a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then, but then all of a sudden on my phone, I've got thousands and thousands of people who want to have a chat, and they're all in the same boat as well.
Yeah.
And I think it was a bit of an outlet, well, for me as well, but for other people, and like I've made some friends over that time that were still like really good mates now and all hang around together. I'd never met them face to face until like 2021. So
yeah. I kind of think when it sort of got back together, sorry, Chris, when it got back together, everything, the world kind of started going about its usual business, and then what we were doing with Local Heroes and my connection with it and what I was doing, it just kind of disappeared, and it was a bit sad because it kind of, you felt like you were losing something you really wanted to make work and happen. So I'm really,
because
really
it's not a
pleased
transactional thing. You know what we do, like in food and drink. It's kind of, there's a quote actually from somebody that we did an event with recently called Carolyn Steele, and she said, "Food's too big to see because it's everywhere." And so people neglect it and its importance. But what we found, like when we started doing the podcast, the theme of food and drink, whether it's a food memory or whether it's something that takes you back to a certain point in time, it disarms people when they come through that door. When we sat down, because we'll think about the guests that we've got coming on the show, and then we'll say, what approach or how's this going to pan out, and you'd be so surprised. It just takes people back to a certain point of innocence almost.
Yeah, definitely.
It does. Plus, yeah, of course. Plus, a majority of the time, there's a few people, but I don't know anybody who's sitting in the chair. So I'm like, great, we're going to get to know you. We're going to sit down and have a natter. When do you get to do that? Sit down and chat and get to know somebody for over an hour. And it's quite nice to not know anything as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then it's fresh.
Everything's new.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know, so when you go back to your blog, right? The journey from going out and enjoying it and doing it with your dad and, and
the journey from Eggs Benedict.
The journey from Eggs Benedict to now. Was there like a tipping point where it started off where you would be, I want to go there because I like that type of food. And then you get to a certain point, you obviously start getting requests from people to say, I want you to come.
Yeah.
When did that start to happen? And do you feel has it changed between you going out to just do what you wanted to do versus feeling like you're being driven by the...
Yeah. I think what happened was, I remember getting my first invite, and it was, I didn't know how it worked. Like I say, I turned up on my own. Didn't take anyone with us. And I just was like, what do I do? Kind of thing. What do I order? And I was like, just order what you want. And I was like, right, okay. And then one thing that I don't do is go to places that I wouldn't ordinarily go to just for the sake of a freebie. Totally. There's certain places that not places or cuisines and stuff that are just not me. I'm not you. If you want reviews on big greasy takeaway burgers and stuff like that, that might not be me.
Yeah.
Whereas other stuff I would, but there's other people who I can recommend, loads of different people who are for that kind of thing. So I never just take anything just for the sake of it. It's always, would I want to go there myself? Yeah. Would I pay for it myself? Yes. Then I'll come.
Yeah, don't have the right reasons. Yeah.
Because when you go beyond, there's a lot of people trying to do what you do, right? And a lot of people probably aren't selective about it.
Yeah.
Because it's just content.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it comes with a certain burden when you do stuff as a purist and you kind of think, I'm doing this because I believe in what I do. and the places I go to, I'm advocating on behalf of.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've got to, I suppose, have that line in the sand where you think, I'm not going to promote that.
Yeah, and I think even probably since about 2022, it is a very, very saturated market now. There's a load of good there's some amazing creators out there, but there's just so many. And I think there's been things where businesses are getting influencers in and they're not really doing their due diligence of checking who the people are or whether the followers are real or not, which is a big issue at the moment and stuff. So it's kind of, I'd like to try and make sure that everything that I put out is completely genuine. It's a genuine review, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
it must. I mean, that must put more pressure on what you do as well. Because I mean, I heard everybody on Love Island, 60% of everyone's followers were fake, were bought.
Potentially.
You know?
Yeah,
So,
wouldn't surprise us.
and that goes across influencers in general, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you've got 10,000 and then it doesn't go to 11. So how have you got 10 and it doesn't grow?
Yeah.
Like, hang on.
It's like things do slow down, but I think for me it's the best. I mean, I've spoken to so many businesses who kind of, it is a shame because when a business invites an influencer in, it's obviously their investment into them to give them a free food, spend the time on them and things like that. They want the return, of course they do.
Yeah.
But for me, it really, one thing that you need to check is someone's engagement rate. If someone's got 50,000 followers but only get 1,000 or 2,000 views on something, and you're like, it doesn't quite sit right.
Yeah.
I wonder where all those views are going, kind of thing. So it's making businesses aware. I think it's a bit of a minefield out there, to be fair.
But is there a pressure on now because there's more competition on yourself? Do you feel the pressure or not? Or are you just going to stick to your guns?
I just stick to how I do it, to be fair. Sometimes I might think, 'cause like there's trends of putting like voiceovers on stuff. If my content doesn't need it, then I'll not do it. If it needs it, I'll do it. I don't change my style just to try and keep up with the trends and stuff, which, to be fair, might be why my kind of followers have just stayed the same for the last however long.
But you'd rather that, though, wouldn't you? You'd rather like incremental growth and you earn every follower.
Exactly,
and they'll stay with you rather than you've stumbled upon another 5,000.
Yeah,
exactly,
if it's your cranes, what you do, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, is it?
Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
But it does. You can't not help look at the followers and likes and
Of course,
you
yeah.
get sucked
we were
into
just
that
chatting about
world.
that this morning before you arrived.
Yeah.
Because I was in a right stink about something. You know, so,
Why is nobody looking at it?
Yeah.
but that's the thing. It's not this. It's something else. But it's because I don't know. You got to play up to like algorithms and things. I'm like, I don't want to. Why should I have to do this?
Yeah, it was.
Like, I don't want to. Do you know? You're kind of sitting there like a gig. Like stamping your feet, but you're going. But if I do, then I'm not being genuine to what I set out to do in the first place. It's a rock and a hard place.
Yeah,
really,
Make it sound like old men stuck in a modern world.
What you talking
I'm the
about?
same,
What
like.
you talking about, Chris? I don't know what you're saying. Yeah. As he pushes his grey beard, you know.
Oh, don't.
Approaching
Honestly.
50, you know.
I thought about dying this, by the way. Is it inside?
I
What
thought
do
you
you
were going to
think?
say dying.
No, I'm dying. What do you think?
Well, you showed us a picture yesterday back in when he was 19, and that it was a
was
luscious,
solid,
thick,
wasn't
black,
it?
solid, heavy, goatee beard.
And
it was
a hairstyle.
Yeah,
hairstyle. It looked like Lego hair. Was that heavy, right? Like Lego hair.
it's stuck on.
It was solid. I was like, Chris, that's solid. I was like, how old are you? 27. 19. I'm like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the goatee. It just ups your age.
That's why I used to get sent to the shop for booze on a Friday night.
Do you have to go?
Yeah.
Actually, when
Well, I had a
was-
technique. Can I just tell you very
Oh,
quickly?
go
I had a technique. There was two of us, me and a friend, right? And we'd go.
Real
it's
stories
talking
coming out now,
about-
Laura.
Right, I've got to get this out. 15 years old, but I think I still do quite have a high voice. That's what I was saying to you earlier. I hate hearing my voice. So we used to go into a shop, and I used to roll my sleeves up, right, and put my hand on the counter because I had really hairy arms. And my mate would go, "Could I have four cans of Castle Super Strength, please?" And I'd just look him in the eye. It's like on Teen Wolf. Give me a keg of beer.
Oh, you're trying to like Jedi mind trick the
Yeah,
guy,
it was mind trick. I
just
didn't need
kinda
to
look
talk.
at
I
him.
just
Yeah.
went in. I did the display like an ape.
So you were
Right.
kind of, so you had a thing. I remember back in the day, right? I used to go in and get served because we had like sideburns and a raggy little tash. Do you know what I mean? So it used to work though. So I used to be able to go to a nightclub. We used to go nightclubbing in our school trousers.
Dress pants.
You know the ones with the little zips on the pockets. So,
Classy. I love that.
now, the 90s.
Don't.
No,
Honestly.
I've always just been too short. I just get ID'd anyway. Just way too
See,
short.
I love that. I love it.
Not now, like.
I've not been ID'd since I was 14.
See, when I used to work in the centre of Sunderland. like when I was 17, I used to sell key rings in nightclubs.
I think you told me about that.
Oh, is that because of the photography and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Right.
So I just used to sell key rings in nightclubs. I just made friends with all the bouncers. So I would be able to, she all teamed I was 18 anyway. When I used to sell, I was like, yeah, just go in, it's fine.
That sounds like the worst job in the world. You're selling key rings to drunk people.
I bet it was easy. Was it easy?
I did it for a while as well. I think I must have done it for about 4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you must have some skills from that, mate.
Well, knowing how to put up with drunk people is probably one of them. But I started doing it when I was 17. So I had started off with a little company, and then there was a company called IMVIP, and I thought I was mint because I went to go and start work for them. And I used to get sent to Durham, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
It's always just 5 drunk bastards going,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, do you want that in a key ring? Yes, please.
Yeah, I remember being in like Glass Spider at 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff.
Glass Spider.
Yeah, that was an interesting shift.
When I went clubbing, it was pizzazz and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
No,
It was Bentley's before pizzazz.
I was a
That's
South
how
Shields
old I am.
lad.
Oh, yeah.
I went club it, but
I used to
between
do
15 and 19 is probably South Shields.
the Shipping Royal. Was that
Shipping
South
Royal,
Shields? I used to do
Venue,
yes.
De Niro's.
What was that one? There was
70s
Vogue.
night.
Fixation Vogue. Was Vogue there as well? Above
I might be-
Roxanne's or something. But yeah.
Roxanne's?
Yeah.
Porter's. I used to sing karaoke. South Shields, George Michael, I used to get called.
South Shields.
Careless Whisper every Thursday
The
night.
thing is, Chris has got quite a few nicknames. Come on, rail them off.
Well, my main one's Chalky.
Chalky.
Where's that come
From when I was 5 years old, and it sticks. I've done it now because it transitions to each group that I work with. So
This is it.
I tried to start right. So when I was 5 years old, it's not even an exciting story. I was obsessed with chalk. Right?
Yeah.
And I lived in a Tyneside flat in Hebburn, and I'd always be in the back lane, chalking stuff.
Yeah.
Just drawing. And my dad called us Chalky, and everywhere I've lived in Glasgow, I've moved around the country, I've worked abroad, and there will always be somebody that crosses the circle and they'll go, oh, there's Chalky. And someone will go, who's Chalky?
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. And then it carries forward
Yeah.
all the time.
No, completely. But it's better to have a kind of good nickname than a bad nickname, because you know when it's in school you do something bad, that's it, you're stuck for 5 years with that nickname.
Yeah.
Did you get one or not?
I never had any nicknames. No, really boring.
But that's kind of
I
a
think
good thing.
you escape.
Yeah, I think you escape
I don't like
quite
it.
well,
I
yeah.
don't like being called
You just
Chalky,
usually
I
put a
don't know.
Y on the end of your surname.
Yeah.
Because I used to get called
I call you
Prince.
Princey.
You call me Prince. I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things that people... Because your brother was called that, and then you get called that, and then everyone just calls you Princey.
My brother was called Dewey, and I hated it. I didn't want anybody to call me Dewey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Dewey?
Yeah.
Right? And then, because then people go like with a D, like Dew, like Dewy, like water. And
like
my
that,
name's
yeah.
with a J.
Yeah.
It starts with a J. Yeah.
Just call us
I'd
Trouble.
have every single spelling of it.
Yeah.
Because it's still quite an odd name. I haven't met many Jewetts in my life.
I haven't met any Jewetts.
No, I don't think I
No.
have.
Apart from the butchers.
Jewetts
I
Butchers.
just pretend that I'm sort of related and that. It's sort of like a
Isn't
food
it?
connection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a builder's Jewetts, isn't there?
Fifth generation removed.
That's Juicens, isn't it?
That's Jewetts.
That's Juicens, yeah.
See?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
There's a bus company.
You're right, there isn't many
Jewetts bus
Jewetts.
company. Yeah, my grandparents used to take photographs outside of any bus that saw always Jewetts on the
Oh,
side.
with your name. Of course, have you ever done that before? Like, it's got my name above it, and
Yeah.
you take a picture like. So, yeah. We went right off topic there. We're talking about like nightclubs and stuff like that. Where were you going with this?
Where was I going with the nightclub chat?
Selling key rings.
Oh, God, I was selling key rings,
Yeah.
No, we were
singing in porters,
No, we were,
buying hooch.
I think we were talking about how you kind of gained momentum with your
right.
with your blog and your Instagram and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, like I say, it was probably lockdown, and then I tried to like basically just go on this tangent with everyone of trying to get everyone to shop more, obviously more local and stuff like that. Second lockdown hit in the November. It was funny actually. Probably the first time that I did anything that was like tried to organise something to help someone was that first couple of weeks where all the food markets and everything had been shut.
Yeah.
And obviously they were all posting and stuff saying, we've had this cancelled, we've had that cancelled, we don't know going. And I live in a Oaky Yards in Gateshead, it's like big estate full of flats, and there's loads of like younger professionals there who are obviously locked away in flats. And I'd seen that they'd gotten a food truck or something down a few months back or whatever, and it had gone quite well. And it was Ryan from Calabash Tree had posted saying, I've got like, this has been cancelled. I messaged her, I was like, just come to my estate. I was like, there's a massive estate group on Facebook. I was like, I'll post you in there. I went, do pre-orders if you have to. Do like something. He was like, do you think that they'd be fine parking up? I was like, as long as you got power. I was like, I can't say, no one's going to stop you. Do you know what I mean? It's all socially distanced. Everyone's safe. Do you know what I mean? So I was at work on the day he came down, and I got there at about 8 o'clock at night, and he was like, I've sold out. He's like, I've completely sold out. He was like, this is great.
Can I say something? That's a proper masterclass of the ADHD brain, I think. That,
Just go
tell
fix
you what,
this.
I'm going to find a solution really quickly, and then we're going to work backwards as to how it's going to work, and if we need to apologise for it afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Just how we approach stuff completely.
Yeah. But I love that, though, because I taught Ryan, and this is how it all kicked off with Ryan, you know, just through COVID. I thought it's a really nice story, because all I heard was bad things on for everything else.
Yeah.
And everybody else was like just suffering completely.
Oh, we've had Ryan come round and do, when he was doing private dining and stuff around that, like since and stuff like that.
Well,
His food's
great.
amazing, yeah.
Well, I've had him, he's kind of catered like a few studio shoots before as well.
Yeah.
So I've had him in, and everyone's like, oh, this food's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It is
get him
fantastic.
in, get
Yeah.
him catering. You know, we've done an advert with him for Sunderland City Council and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he's just great, yeah. I like his vibe, but I like his story as well.
Yeah, it's good,
Being
isn't
a
it?
fireman injured, and then
Yeah.
he's kind of using his mother's recipes.
We'll get him
and
on.
then, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
he's
got
a
to
good
get him
chat,
on.
yeah.
Ryan, you coming on? Okay. Yeah, that's what we keep doing. So shout out to that. No one's, yeah, he might not be watching, but yeah.
But no one's safe.
No one's, yeah, everybody out there. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Sorry.
No, go on.
My brain's just
Because
going
all of
different
us are
directions.
going like different directions. So, yeah.
So, I've been writing a blog recently, right? A blog, right? Not a,
OJ.
yeah, definitely a blog
Yeah.
about, and I've titled it "Pimped, Smashed, and Loaded." Right.
Right.
And it's all about public health and about
Oh, right,
food.
okay.
Have you, like, in all of your travels of going to different restaurants, and it's like a trend that you look at and you're like, oh, I can't stand this.
Yeah. Come on.
Like,
I think it's a
something-
bit of a thing of quite a few people, but when food's just not just served on a plate.
Yeah,
Like, just give us
with
a
bowl of
plate,
hats
like, or like, yeah, like a bit of slate, or like something, or
Slate,
like on a
yeah.
board. When they're on wooden boards, all I keep thinking is hygiene, and
Yes,
it's like,
yeah.
oh no, like, can I just have a plate, please?
Yeah.
Like, that would be really nice. That, that bugs us a little bit.
Like when the theatre overtakes the pragmatism of eating something.
Yeah, it's the
It's just-
presentation of the thing. Like,
You can
takes
make it look
over.
nice on a plate.
Somebody said
you know
that,
what I mean?
somebody said
Yeah.
that over the weekend in Sunnyside about
Getting the tweezers out and stuff.
yeah, they were like, oh, if there's some street food that I buy and I can't eat it because I've got to take it home, otherwise it falls out of the carton.
Yeah,
It's so
'cause it
stacked and high.
That's another thing, yeah, there's loads of sauces and stuff on top that's a bit too excessive, and yeah, I think.
But you kind of, if it's on something flat and you've got like a sauce on it, you're at the corner of your eye just watching that trickle. It's like a little bit of like a runaway
Yeah.
stream. Just
Well,
waiting for it to-
you look at it and you get nervous. If you're in a restaurant, you think, I don't know how I'm going to eat that.
Yeah, yeah, literally.
I always think that with because I'm not a huge shellfish fan. It's quite hard to say. Quite quick.
Don't be shellfish.
Don't be shellfish. But you know when I don't know when you're putting shellfish in like a rice dish, well, I've got to take all the shelled things out.
Yeah,
and then
that's
I've
a
got
Oh,
to
you mean
point
in
of
the
fair.
shell? Yeah.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
shell, in the actual thing you're going to eat. It looks great for a picture, right? But it's no good when I want to eat it
Not
because I need a separate side plate to take it all off, put it then, and then I've got to put the thing in with.
Do you not think part of that's cultural though? Because
Food
like if you're on the
separation.
continent,
Yeah.
people wouldn't be bothered, you know,
Nah.
if you eat a
It's
paella.
the
or,
messiness
you know,
for me.
It's
I
the
mean,
messiness and getting your hands in.
when it's just like
bowl of
prawns on the
shells,
side,
yeah.
but when like you say, if it's been in rice and everything, you've got to like shake it off and try to
Well,
like
You
deshell it
saw that
stuff.
for my breakfast on Saturday, didn't you?
What was that?
I had a huge bowl of mussels.
Oh no, yeah, Chris said he had a bowl of mussels.
I was thinking,
on
like, you know,
Saturday.
it
I'm
doesn't
like,
matter what time. My son was like, "What are you doing? It's breakfast." I was like, "Well, yeah, mussels are nice.
Fine.
So I'll eat them for breakfast."
yeah, I mean, I used to like mussels, and my brother liked prawns, and I used to eat them out the jar. But these were like, you know, at the seaside, they're in a nice little polystyrene
Yeah.
tub, right? And you just drown them with vinegar. That's how I remember mussels.
Yeah.
And then you just pull the little hair off, and then there you go.
That's
you
a
know?
technique and a half.
That's a technique
It's a
and
bit
half,
like
yeah.
how the Italians eat olives when they spit the
I'll
stone
spit
out.
the pip
yeah.
out. Yeah. I took us 3 years to like olives.
Really, I
there
think
any-
you have to train yourself to like that though.
You do.
You do, especially. I don't like black olives.
On
They're
the-
too.
Oh, I see. I like
See,
black
actually, I
olives
do
before I
like
like
black
green
olives.
olives.
Too metallic
Yeah.
for me.
No, it depends on what they are. Sometimes they get bitter ones, but we had some chili olives with
nice.
Nando's. Just go for some olives. Lovely. But makes me teeth kind of hurt a bit. I don't know, that's kind of the oil and stuff like that. But is there a food that took you a long time to eat or like? Just on that subject, because
Mushrooms. I hated them.
Really?
I was a really fussy eater as a kid.
Okay,
Like
come on then.
it took me
There
till
you
about
go.
15 to
That's
actually
interesting.
properly enjoy like nice food, to be honest with you.
So you're just a beans on toast girl as a kid, or
I
not?
to be fair, even that. No, I was like very beige. I wouldn't touch anything like fruit or veg for ages, and I used to drive my parents up the wall. And then it was almost like a button, like a switch flicked, and I was like, I've been missing out loads. Let's try everything.
What was it though? Do you remember what it was?
The
'Cause I was the
texture
same. I wasn't a foodie.
No.
I don't think I was picky, but I wasn't a foodie. I didn't.
The stuff that used to put us off stuff was texture.
Yeah.
Inconsistent
Hence
texture, which is an ADHD thing as well, like the overstimulation of some, not like picking one strawberry up and then the next strawberry
Yeah.
up and then two being completely different was like really unsettling in my head.
Yeah.
But then I think I was at summer camp and I just looked around and everyone was tucking into like broccoli and all this, and I was like, that actually looks really nice. And I just went and filled my plate with it and ate, and I was like, I went home and my parents were like, had been trying to force vegetables down my neck for ages, and I've just gone, oh yeah, I like it now. And they were like, what? But yeah, it took a while for
That's
us to really
amazing.
come around to like liking different food and
See,
stuff.
we were like, you probably the same. Like our family was sort of meeting two veg. It was Pinackley on a Tuesday and that, and my mum used to make something called black soup, right? Which is just gravy and mince and potatoes and grated carrots and
My mum's
Worcestershire sauce and stuff like that.
My mum's broth was great, and it was always a big pot.
Yeah.
But it was one of those massive metal ones, you know, the little thing, the stopper on the top, and it used to pop up and like steam.
Yeah.
Like take you like scalding your skin off kind of level steam
Yeah.
in the kitchen. But it was lovely, and the dumplings in it as well.
What like
yeah, proper suet one.
hot
Proper suet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Suet
suet dumplings.
yeah. Made in, so you get that lovely, because then the soup goes a little
Wet
bit kind of
or
stodgy
wet
as well.
because you remember the wet dumplings used to get in the sort of
Well, it
broth.
was that, and then you would do
Probably
like
crispy on the top.
you would do something in the oven where it would go crispy on the top. Crispy
Yeah.
on the top's much better.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Well, it's funny
definitely.
because sorry, go
No,
on.
you're right. My other half's never tried dumplings before.
Really?
And I was like, we need to go and get mince and dumplings.
Si's got some
You have to,
dumplings.
yeah, he does mince and
Yeah,
dumplings.
he does mince and
Yeah.
dumplings.
So my grandma would make, if she made very technical names, yellow soup or black soup, right?
Okay, yeah.
Right. There was a bit of a difference between the two.
Split peas.
One was
Yeah.
split peas,
Yeah.
right? And it was
What was the black soup?
black soup was mince. I love it to this day. It's what I called my blog originally, black soup.
Black soup.
Right? It's like gravy salts, Compton's, right?
Right. Yeah.
You'd roast off the mince,
Right.
beef mince.
Yeah.
It was grated onion, grated carrots,
Right.
waxy potatoes, right?
Yeah.
So they still had a bit of bite,
Yeah.
Worcestershire sauce,
Okay.
and would have that once a week, a huge pot. Yellow soup was always with soft, like wet dumplings,
Right. Okay.
whereas mince and dumplings was always with
Yeah.
oven baked, crispy on the top,
Oven bake, the best. Yeah.
stodgy at
Yeah.
the bottom.
Yeah. It is textures, but that's quite a nice thing. It's we've gone through this. I mean, we've got the list of questions here, and these very much relate to this. It's textures, and my
Yeah.
little girl loves the kind of the crusty edges and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what
I
I
used to like that. Well,
You-
still do.
Yeah.
mean? Like on a lasagna when it's just crusty
Yeah.
on the edges. That's the best part,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it,
is.
Shirley?
My mum was really good at cooking, and now I feel like I missed out. But like, my Monday night was always curry night because she'd take all the leftover meat from Sunday and make a
Right.
curry on the
Yeah.
Monday.
Kind of curry.
Don't even know. I
Mum's
just was
curry.
like, my mum's
Yeah,
curry.
mum's
Yeah, my
curry.
mum's
Can we
curry's
get a
banging.
mum's
Like,
curry?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
What kind of meat in the curry? Drum roll.
Oh, don't.
I'm waiting for it.
It was chicken. Yeah.
Chicken.
I thought
I
you
know
were
what you
gonna-
wanted to say,
I know.
but it's not. That might come up later.
Right,
Don't
okay,
say it,
I'm not
just
going to
say
say it. I'm not going to
You
say
know.
it. Yes,
I remember
no,
this-
it's a chicken. Okay.
So my mum used to like try and force feed veg on us and stuff. Anyway, she used to make this curry, and I would like wolf this curry down. It'd be lovely. Then one day, I like took a bite out of the curry, and I just saw something bright orange underneath. I was like, "What's that?" She'd been grating vegetables into the curry, like
How dare
carrots and
she?
stuff
How
like that,
dare she?
in the hope that I would. She was like, our face dropped. She was like, "No, it's nothing. It's nothing."
It's
I was
not
like,
what it's not what
"It's
you
because I took
think,
the meat
Laura."
off the dinner yesterday, so it must have just had a bit of carrot on it." I was like, "No, betrayal."
Yeah. How dare you hide vegetables
We
in
do
my
that.
curry?
Funny
Well,
enough,
that's what you do with kids. You
Yeah.
hide
You
the
do.
veg and the food.
My
you know?
son,
I mean, I was 13, like,
so my son's
Well,
autistic,
yeah,
right?
It's on the edge. It's on
It is on the edge.
It's on the edge.
My son's autistic, and he absolutely hates mushrooms.
right, yeah.
And a couple of times, I've tried mushroom powder and all kinds of stuff.
snuck
Oh,
them in.
even
And
the
he'll
taste.
sit and he'll go, something different about this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like what?
What are you talking
What could it
about?
be? What are you talking about? I mean, I
hasn't
might
got
have
an-
changed the seasoning.
Are you sure he hasn't got an allergy then?
He's not got allergy. He just
Yeah.
he hates the
'Cause that's why he
texture.
Yeah.
knows. Yeah.
Whereas I love mushrooms.
That was for me. It
Okay.
took me a while to get over the taste of it. I'd have mushroom soup. I'd be fine with that. But the texture of actual mushrooms would really put us off. Love
Yeah,
them now.
but some still are sort of challenging.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Badly
there's
cooked
lots of variety of mushroom, so they very much differ.
I started growing some lion's mane mushrooms this morning, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, before I left the house.
They're
Christmas gift.
Are they easy to kind of? They're easy to grow. Or you just get
in my
in a
house,
moist bunker or something. Yeah.
I don't know. In my house, you'd think they were easy to grow.
You grow them in a dog's bed or something.
They're on top of the freezer.
On top
at the
of the
minute,
freezer.
yeah. I just looked at it and I thought, I got these for Christmas, and I don't want them to become one of those. It's a bit, Helena, I'm really sorry. So, do you know how you've got your ice bath?
Yes.
What's the brand again? Is it
Lumi?
Lumi? I got one of them
Yeah.
last Christmas from Helena.
Have you got
And it's
mushrooms
still in
in
the
it?
garage.
I was
in
gonna
a
say, we
box,
used it.
right? Actually, yeah, I've grown mushrooms in it. I've got a big sourdough starter in it.
That's like poking holes in and stuff like that. Yeah, you can see.
I do love a nice bath.
Oh, the
to be fair.
Lumi mushroom pod. There you go.
So I feel
That's
guilty.
bad for you.
I've got. I feel really bad. I've got a kayak,
Yeah.
right? An ice bath, and a mushroom growing kit. The mushroom growing kit felt urgent because I thought it's got to happen because otherwise it'll die.
So is this why
we're
we've
working
got-
backwards? So I was
Yeah.
going out on a kayak
Is
next
this why-
week.
Right, so is this why we've got your bongos in it?
Bongos are here.
We'll end up with a kayak on the wall now.
Yeah, you
That's
will.
what's going to happen. Yeah.
Mushrooms growing out the walls everywhere.
I just want to say the mushroom Lumi ice bath. That's what I want to say. That's the thing, isn't
Perfect little incubator for it, wouldn't it?
it? What's man, you repurposing stuff you don't use.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
I'll have a
It's
nice
like,
bath.
it's like the spare room. That just ends up being where you put the clothes.
Yeah.
You just hang like, your 15 jumpers on the back of a chair. That's what happens, though.
Yeah.
When you're looking to buy a house, right, you've got all of these lovely rooms. Where do you live? You sleep in the bedroom,
Yeah.
right? You sit in the living room and the kitchen. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need the dining rooms. No one's ever going in there
Yeah.
apart from Christmas dinner. Yeah. So that's it. It is, though, isn't it?
It is.
You know?
Yeah.
Mine's my office. There's like a corner of my office that's it's mostly like lockdown fitness equipment went to die in the corner of that, like, because it doesn't come out
Yeah.
anymore.
A treadmill.
Yeah.
Which is now the clothes horse.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. Oh man, it was always the case. I remember my mum used to I think she used to buy a treadmill like every 2 years. Do you know what I mean? And then that would go, and then you buy another one, that would go, and it was just somewhere to hang clothes on. That's all it was. That's it. Yeah,
The bongos?
that's what the bongos
I thought I
are.
was going to be playing for like Massive Attack or something when I was 19. I've had them since I was a teenager.
Have you?
I had 3 lessons and it hurt my hands. So I was like, I got to do that.
Yeah. 'Cause he mentioned one of his nicknames was Chalky. I was like, Chalky Bongos. There you go. That's a perfect name, isn't it?
Take that one forward.
That's his musician name, Chalky Bongos. So.
Is that for the Raji Gadgies?
That's for the Raji. Yeah, Chalky Bongos is playing Raji Gadgets. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of it's got the same vibe, hasn't it?
Spin off.
So we're back to mushrooms. So you're into mushrooms now.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that took a while to kind of?
There's one food that I still don't like,
Oh, come on.
and it's bananas.
Really?
Yeah. But
Texture again, though.
yeah, texture. But Ryan tried to convert us by giving us plantain as well, which
Yeah.
didn't really work. But that was
Push you further out, I think.
well. So even worse, when I went and volunteered in Africa when I was in uni, and that was a thing to do. But yeah.
I did the same.
Oh yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
What
the
part?
picture with the
Out of
goat.
Tanzania. That was my Geordie picture.
That was
Yeah, I
his
went to
Geordie
Tanzania
picture.
for 3 months.
Yeah, I was in Ghana
Oh, really?
and flew into Accra, and then you stay in this like house with this family for like the night, and then they take you over to the village the next day. And the family are lovely and welcoming. And I was there with 2 of the volunteers, and they'd made traditional like chicken thigh and stuff like that. Loads of greens, and then what I thought were potatoes on the side of the dish. Well, the chicken was quite spicy. I'm fine with spice, but one of the lads who was with us was not good with spice. He loaded his plate full of chicken. I was like, ooh, potatoes, loaded my plate full of potatoes. I remember putting one in my mouth and thinking, oh my God, I need to eat this. I was way too polite to say anything.
Yeah.
And I would just remember trying to swallow big chunks of plantain whole because I was like, no, I can't eat this. I can't even chew it. Oh, no, this is lovely. I look across the table and the lad who's not good with spice is just red and melting across the other side of the table. Like I was like,
You want it
at least
pipe
we're in
down.
this together. And I'm like, I feel sick and he's melting the other side of the table. So
So it's funny that I didn't. When I went to Africa, I'm trying to think of the meals that stood out. We had. Because again, when I went out Africa, how old were you when you went?
19, 20?
I was the same. I was
Yeah.
19. I was 19 turning 20. And I went out for 3 months, and I wasn't a foodie, right?
Yeah.
So then I was still kind of eating what my mum and dad made. And
Stews and
went,
stuff like that.
yeah, went out to Africa, and we had something called ugali, which was like a maize. It was like a steamed maize pudding, right? that you pulled chunks off it and you rolled it into a ball.
Yeah.
So it was like a spoon. It was stretchy,
Yeah.
and then you scooped up like it was. It wasn't spicy food in Tanzania, but it was just like a bean stew, and it was beautiful.
See, we only had like one authentic meal proper apart from that one. It was a red stew, and went and got invited into the village to meet the chief and whatever for the night.
Was that the name of your mate in the end?
Red stew, yeah. Should have been.
Again.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. But the problem was, in the camp that we were in, obviously nothing keeps. There's no real refrigeration or anything like that. So it was like, what can you make with potatoes, spam, tin tuna and pasta?
Yeah.
So it was just living off that. So then I kind of just threw myself in it. I pride myself on knowing how to make a meal out of not a lot. So I was like, right, I'll be chef for like the whole week that we're there. So
yeah, but that's half of student life though, living on that kind of food, isn't it? So somebody in Sunderland's probably living on the same stuff as you over there. Do you know what I mean? Because that's all you've got.
Yeah, exactly.
Did it transform thing? Because it was transformational for me. I changed my life entirely.
You discovered, you kind of...
I definitely found myself.
You kind of got out of your comfort zone kind of
out of
thing.
my comfort zone. I kind of needed that.
Yeah.
I needed to get... Because I didn't go through uni, so I dropped out of uni.
Right, yeah.
And I always wanted to travel, and I'd always had a fascination with going to Africa. I wanted to work for the UN. Right,
yeah.
I had no idea. You know, growing up in the northeast, in like a shipyard town, I had no idea how to chart those steps. Yeah. I used to go to like citizens' advice and go, I want to. They're like, well, you need to specialise in something. And I was like, well, can't I just go?
Yeah.
Right. So I ended up going out on this. It was like VSO.
Yeah.
But it was the first time I remember seeing the whole village slaughter a goat for a goat curry. But it was like a ceremony, so you had to go. And you would be on this hill, and the guy would bless it. It was like halal, so it was tied up, throat was cut, and you had to stay. And then you were given meat from that goat.
Yeah.
And then we killed our own chicken. We kept chickens in the camp because we were gifted them.
Yeah.
And I remember, I bottled it.
Right. Yeah.
So I was with
Did they
another
give
guy.
you any jobs to do to kind of integrate you with?
Oh yeah, so we
else?
we helped build a school. We were doing some teaching over there. I had no idea what I was teaching kids with a Geordie accent. I told you about the Canny Bag of Judah thing. Canny Bag of Judah. All these kids were speaking with a Geordie accent, right?
Yeah, but it's fun. It's kind of the way like you. It's unusual to them as well, you know.
But the chicken thing, I was with a guy called Paul from Scotland. He's a proper outdoorsy, like walk around with a knife in his pocket and that, and he's on the top of his boot like Rambo. And he said, we'll kill those chickens. And I was like, I'm not killing the chickens. So we kept them for weeks, and then he did. Yeah. And it's the first time. It's awful. It's very graphic, right? The whole running around like a headless chicken is a real thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I had never experienced it.
Yeah.
So you had to stand on its wings and cut it, hold its neck. That's how you do it. God. Right? But if you step off its wings, it runs away. It ran.
Yeah.
It ran at the desert. Like out of the camp, just running. Like in zigzags. And then
Really?
After about a minute.
Yeah. Awesome, yeah. Truth behind it. Yeah. I didn't see any chickens get killed.
So yours was plantains.
Yeah.
Your worst experience was plantains.
Yeah, pretty much.
No plantains were harmed making this episode.
Well, our village must have been really, really chill because we went down to, because there was a bit where you could go for the weekend that was a bit more like a resort where loads of volunteers would go for the weekend. Went down there and then loads of them would say, oh yeah, someone got shot in our village last week.
Yeah.
And we were like, our village is just like fine. There's nothing really going on. There's only about 5 of us.
But did you want drama other than plantains? Did you want more drama?
No, I was fine with it being fairly chilled, yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a plantain, you know.
Have you not?
But I love bananas. I think bananas are...
Have you questioned all the sweet potato habit?
Yeah.
You got called out on the first podcast.
I did, yeah. Sweet potatoes instead of chips.
Oh, yeah?
Side king. It's not a good thing.
Where'd you get this fella from?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, that's what he said about the sweet potatoes, isn't it? Yeah. Well, because I eat differently now. I replace one with the other because I have to... You can still have the thing, the kind of... the texture and that almost adjacent flavour and thing like a chip, but make them with sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
So do you spice them up?
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you know?
Garlic with garlic oil, salt and pepper on in the oven, and then you get that lovely cross between the old charred and soft, which is a perfect chip if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because it's been oven roasted as well. So how are you? What's your cooking skills like at home? Where are you with that? Are you more the healthy? Or you eat extravagant out? Or how's it work?
Completely honest with you.
I'll be completely. I do because I've did live on my own for so long. It just became functional. I lived off scrambled egg on toast for the majority of the time, and plus, like, I was lucky enough to be eating out quite a bit. So it was like when I'm eating in, I'll stick to something relatively healthy. So when I cook for myself, it's normally healthy.
Okay.
I can cook. I do enjoy cooking, but it's just having the time and energy and stuff to put into it.
Have you got a signature dish?
I love making curry. Like, really, really love making curry and stuff. Like making a bit of ramen and things. But again, I think my skills just, I can go to like the yellow sticker aisle in Tesco and pretty much not get anything up from what's in there and what's in the cupboard.
That's a really good trait to have, though, isn't it?
It comes from being a kid. Like when I was like I think from about 14 to 18, my dad would work away and I lived with him. So like Monday to Friday, I just had to like figure out what I could make, and then he'd go and do a food shop, and it would consist of a pack of chicken breasts and some Nando sauce. So I just had to come up with different stuff to make.
I was going to say, you must be spoiled for choice though when you're being invited all the time out. It's like chefs, you're making all this lovely extravagant food for other people, and then you go home, you want a pizza, do you know what I mean? And you want to just slice a toast or scrambled eggs, or you want to fry up bacon sarnie.
Definitely.
It's that kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
because everything's at your fingertips as well. So at home, you're probably just like, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, I'm bad because I live on the quayside, so I'm really bad for like, I'll just nip into town and grab something.
Do you have a go-to style of food though? You know, like, see, I love Thai food. I love the flavour combinations. I love coconut and I love lemongrass. I love ginger and I love, do you have a particular thing that you gravitate towards?
Probably like stir fries and like Thai food. Love Thai food, love Thai curries and stuff like that. I'd probably go for something like that. Yeah, just because the majority of the stuff that's in my cupboards and I can get it out and whatever. But I'll probably turn anything I can add spice to, I'll go for. Yeah.
But it takes a long time to get that curry right.
Yeah.
When I was living in London, I went round to a mate of mine, Dave Bentley's, and he was like, I'm going to make a curry. He started at like 1 o'clock. We ate at 4. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it was fantastic.
Yeah. It's an art.
It is an art form. So I was like, right, because I'd never done it before, where you used to just get the jars and pour it in.
Yeah.
It was never the same. There's a reason. And now I do that because I've photographed somebody who made it from scratch, a curry from scratch. And I was like, it's about the onions and the dry spice first.
Dry spice first.
It's all
Cooking
about
it off.
that. Yeah. So now I've got the technique. Yeah. I can make a cracking curry. Just the house smells like curry for like 2 days, you know what I mean? And all your clothes as well, but it tastes nice.
That was one thing that I did for the very, very first lockdown. There was My Deli, and when they first opened in Newcastle, I think they would been open a year when the lockdown hit. And their chef Gaurav was, he was like, the message went, do you want to do a live cook along? So he taught us how to do a cook along on Insta Live. I was like, this is great. Proper curry from scratch and everything. He sent us all the ingredients and just went, this is how you do it. So it was dead good.
Yeah.
That's definitely my go-to.
What's that?
Curry.
Oh, curry. I love it. I mean, I did one last week.
I said Thai. I love the flavour combinations of Thai.
Yeah.
But when I look at the sort of breadth and style of food, in my previous job, I used to go to India quite a lot. And just Indian food and Indian cookery is out of this world. And we don't get even a cat's whisker as close to what it's like authentically in the UK compared to what it's like in India. It's incredible.
So you didn't ask for naan bread, garlic naan, did you know?
Could I have a korma, please, and a keema naan.
We hasn't a naan bread. Have you got any
6
poppadoms?
poppadoms and
Chinese as well. Yeah, 4 pickles. I mean, it's an experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we all love it. It's fantastic. But
I had a really strange example though, right? Yeah. I'm trying to remember where it was. I was working for a company, a fair trade company, so I developed their products,
right,
and developed their supply chains, right. So I was in Mumbai, and I had to go and visit. It was a woman's cooperative who were making chapatis and poppadoms, right?
Yeah.
So it was a factory, and they were like, "Oh," the guy said, "It's just we'll pick you up tomorrow morning from the hotel. It's just a short trip to Gujarat, right, which is a completely different region, right? So they picked you up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We were still driving at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right?
Short drive. It depends.
It was wild. Yeah. And if you haven't been to India, the roads are just crackers, weaving in and out, right?
cow
rickshaws and that,
yeah.
and like, you know, there's bales of hay falling off the back of trucks, and there's like potholes,
full family.
and it's not like that. It's
Yeah.
not like that as much now. But when I started going there,
Well, it is
like
on
early
Instagram. That's what he says. That's what he's saying. Instagram.
Yeah.
But if you go to Mumbai now, it looks more developed than here. The roads are, you know, like after the Commonwealth Games and all that happened in India. But when I started going, I feel quite lucky because it was before it changed.
Yeah.
And it was like early 2000, maybe, no, it was mid 2000s, 2007, something like that. And I went on this trip anyway, got to Gujarat, spent like half an hour in the factory. And I was like, right, we'll drive you back. So like, this guy was like howking it down the motorway.
Yeah.
And because like hospitality's so like entrenched in Indian culture, he was like, oh, we're going to stop for dinner. And it was like 10:15 at night already.
Oh, God.
I'm going to stop for dinner on the way back to your hotel. And this guy took me, and it was because he wanted me to meet his whole family, right?
Yeah.
But it was like an I don't know if this is the right phrase. It was like an inverse cultural appropriation, right? So he took me to an Indian restaurant that was like an Indian restaurant in the UK where they were selling like Fosters and that. Right. And
Is he not just trying to
got
keep you
pints in.
Oh, I know they like
Got
these.
the pints in. Sitting in. It was so peculiar. Yeah. I was like, this is... and I don't know what he wanted me to get out of that experience, but it was so bizarre.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got back to the hotel about 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and
It's funny that I mean, this isn't food related, but when I was in Ghana and we went down to that resort, we were like, how we're going to get there? Because there's a group of us going, and we're like, Nick, get this bus here, this bus here, this bus here. We're like, right. There was 6 or 7 of us, got to this bus depot, which is just a field with a load of buses in it, trying to figure out which bus is going where or whatever. I think we were on our way, on our way back or on our way there, but we ended up finding this driver, and he was like, oh, rather than you having to get from here to the next place, if there's 7 of you, I'll just take you the whole way. It'll be this much. And we bartered with him on the price and stuff, and the bus that he had looked like lovely compared to the rest of the other ones that we'd seen. We're like, yeah, go on, then we'll pay the little bit extra. It means that we go straight there and it's all taken care of. Anyway, paid him our money, put our bags in the back, and stood round, and he disappears. We've got no idea where this guy is, but this bus is still sat there. We're like, right. Then this young lad like appears from nowhere, goes, hop in, and we all jump in. We're like, all right, how old does he look? And we were like, he doesn't look that old.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, but didn't think anything of it, because, 3-4 hours into the journey, again, on these bumpy roads and stuff like that. To be fair, it was a welcome change, because the bus that we'd gotten to that depot, I had literally been sat on top of a caged chicken for the whole way to try. There was no seats to just get in. So I spent that for 3 hours. So this one was luxury. Anyway, 3 hours in, got pulled over by the police, and we were like, what is going on here? Anyway, I was sat right at the back of the bus, and the lads were in the front, and they were like, oh, he's been pulled over for speeding. They're like, oh, do you know how fast you go? And he's like, no. They're going, oh, well, you were going well over the speed limit. He's like, oh, my speedo was broken. We're like, all right, okay. So then the woman was like, well, can I see your license? He was like, no. They went, why? He went, I'm 16. And we were like, right, sat in the back of this van going, we have no idea where we are. No one's got any signal. So then
Did you have that? This is going to be on a documentary in 10 years' time.
I'm just imagining what Indiana Jones has. He's got the blocks on his feet. It's kind of like that.
So then he gets out the car, speaks to this police woman, and gets back in again. And then she was like, oh, he's like, I need to follow them to the station. So we're sat there in the back of this bus, what is going on? Get to this police station. He gets out and disappears inside the police station. We were a bit shocked, but then it was had this moment of if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Yeah. So the lads were getting up and getting behind the steering wheel of the car and getting their photo taken and stuff like that. Okay. Half an hour passed, then an hour passed, and we were like, is he coming back out? What's going on? We need to get going again. Anyone got any signal? No. What did we do? Anyway, he reappears and he goes, oh, they say I need to pay a bribe. We're right, how much? And he's like, oh, however many 100 CD. And we were like, he's like, I need the money off you. And we were like,
here we go. Yeah.
No, definitely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. We're like, no, definitely not. Yeah. And then he disappears back in, he comes back out. And I'm sat in the back of the bus going, oh my God. He comes back out and the lads are going, no, we're not paying. Comes back out and he said, oh no, he said that if you don't pay, he'll arrest a lot of yous as well. So the lad's going, well, I can't pay that. So however many 100 CD, and I sat and got the calculator out on my phone. I was like, it's £3 each. If we just pay this bribe, and everyone's like,
let's just get a bit of context and perspective here, guys.
it's £3 each. They were like,
I thought he was going to disappear, then he's done his license and come back. Do you know what I mean?
No, like, it's terrifying.
he took all of our money, went back to the station, got back in the van, and went. We were like,
and then just
what is going on? Just drove
on
off.
your merry way, and then you went. Did really?
Locked up by Neil came on.
We had a similar thing when we finished at the end of our thing in Tanzania. We were given like 2 weeks to go and travel. And I think, well, I'm not going to. I can't afford to come back on a flight. So we went to Zanzibar. It's actually quite a serious story, but the same thing, right? So we got to Dar es Salaam. Now I remember it vividly because Nelson Mandela was in Dar es Salaam, and there was like a motorcade. So I've waved to Nelson Mandela, right, which I think is pretty cool. Right.
Are you sure? Did they tell you? It's Nelson Mandela, Chris, is it?
But we had some, because you go a bit native when you're travelling, and there's always, like you said, spidey senses, right? There's always somebody in the group who's like, this is not right.
Yeah.
There's always somebody who's like, this is great, right? So isn't it? So we were sitting in the middle of Dar es Salaam, and we'd all run out of money, right? And we were like, right, okay. You're looking at one day, it's like, you're all right for cash. You think you can get a bit of, money. Then, it was 1998, right? You had to get money wired.
Oh yeah.
Like, so you didn't have a debit card, I didn't have a mobile phone, right? Pre-mobile phone. So we were trying to get money wired to a bank. This girl who we were traveling with, and we were just sitting in a cafe. This guy turned up, Rastafarian guy, just like with a brochure. Hey. Are you trying to get to get to Zanzibar? And I was like, yeah, we are. We can help you. And I was like, I was the spidey sense, like, definitely. I was like, really? Can you?
How?
And the whole thing, this whole situation evolved where we ended up sitting with these guys. They bought us a round of drinks. Big mistake, right? I think we got spiked. Right?
Well,
hallucinating in the middle of Dar es Salaam. So we're sitting there in this cafe. Going through this brochure, it's like a Freeman's catalogue. Yeah, you could get this boat, or you could get this boat, or you could get on that one. That one's chartered to leave not until tomorrow morning. We're like, well, we don't really want to stay here for another night. We've been staying at Salvation Army Hospital, right? And he went, tell you what, we're going to go away for a bit and we'll come back. And straight away, I'm like, oh, guys, come on. Like, where are they going to go? Why do they have to go away for a little bit? But, there was a group of 5 or 6 of us. So the rest were like, no, let's just see what they've got to say. And they came back. And they were like, oh, you'll not get your money quick enough through the bank, but we've got a solution. They took us down this side street into a shipping container. And it was like, literally, it's like walking through, what do you call it? Narnia, right? Just walk through this door. And there was this guy, right? Guy sitting in the middle of a shipping container with a desk. Right, like it was his office.
Like a CIA interview kind of thing. Yeah.
And he had to. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember when he used to put the card in that thing
the
and go slide it?
Oh yeah,
the slidey thing. Huh?
And he was like, right, so we can get the money for you, but it's 150% interest. We were like, what? And then the girl I was with started. I could see.
Yeah.
She changed, started getting a bit shifty.
Yeah.
We were like, I tell you what, we're gonna go and we're gonna go and discuss this. Right, and we went away in the cafe, and then just the penny dropped, and we were like, "We've got to get out of here.
Yeah.
We have to." So we all jumped in a taxi back to the Salvation Army, and like, so people were like tripping and that. Like somebody cut my hair. No, me nice hairstyle. That was gone. Right,
really?
From that event, right? So we're sitting.
Did they leave
right?
the Geordie?
Everybody's like, in the room, and the fans.
Yeah.
Everybody's crying because they thought all the helicopters and that. I was lying in. We had a thing called a kanga. It was like what do you call the sarong, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We bought something called kangas in East Africa, right? So we bought them. I was like dousing it in cold water and wrapping myself up in it, right? Lying on this bed. Then all of a sudden this girl came through. Do you want to get your hair cut? And I was like, yeah. So she cut me hair like a basin cut, all of it. Like it looked like cutting lumps out the back. And then the next day we were all like, what on earth happened last night?
Can you remember anything from yesterday? That's mad.
But don't let us put you off travelling.
No, do it. It'll change your life.
Hey, look at that. I don't think we've had a break before. But isn't that really important though, right? Like, I don't know about you. I've got no regrets over that at all.
Oh, definitely no.
Do you not think it's made you like fearless in what you do?
I think it's more like, yeah, because it makes. I'm very much of the mindset now, especially like of what's the worst that could happen.
Yeah.
And it's like that stuff like that makes you. But I think one thing for me, you know how like I don't know if you ever had this chat off anyone when you go out there, but they're always like you're always prepared for what you see when you're out there.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen Children in Need. Everyone's seen like the Oxfam adverts.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, it's actually never it's never that bad, the severity that you see there, but it's coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Totally.
then it's like literal like first world problems when you come back and people are complaining about Karen at work, like using their milk in the office and stuff, and you're like, you've got no idea.
Well, I totally agree with you. I think that's what I mean, probably even to this day, really, when I think about it, I struggled with that massively because I got really resentful. Mm-hmm. Do you know, like, because where we were, it was poor, you know, and people would come to our camp and beg for food.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the people that were a bit harder were like, well, we can't help. We're not here to do that. We can't give our food. But I just wasn't built that way, and I couldn't, not to say I couldn't cope with it, but I couldn't wrestle with my conscience enough to just ignore it.
Yeah, it's hard.
And then coming back, I always remember I got back probably about, would have been back end of November, which in 1998 was normal winters, so it was freezing cold in Newcastle. And I remember my mum and my dad and my granda had done like a little buffet.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't eat it.
No.
I went back to the house and there was like a working men's club buffet. There was like mince pies and like, you know, savoury mince pie. And I just looked, no, I can't eat that because it just. And then I remember being like, at the end of it, there was loads of that. I would just throw it out. And
I've always been funny with waste ever since. I think then I'm like, it takes a lot for me to throw full things out. It goes in the freezer or it gets eaten later or something like that. Like yeah.
And it's how I ended up working in the fair trade industry. Yeah, because I wanted to work in food, but I wanted to work in food where it made a difference and it addressed those issues.
Yeah.
I think it's like anytime you're away though, you know, when you go away and it's a new experience, and then you come back with a braid and a bead in your hair and a henna tattoo or something like that, and you think, I'm going to start living like this from now on. And then 2 weeks later you go, who's nicked the milk? Who's put? Who's ate me?
That's what I'm saying, Laura.
Snickers out the fridge. You know what I mean?
It lasted much longer than that for me. I had friends like that who just washed off the experience and went, "Oh, that was great." Anyway, I'm going to go and get a job.
Is this because you always
couldn't?
Yeah, but you're probably seeking something out, which has always been in you anyway. So you're trying to seek something out, and it's a new adventure, and it kind of affected you, kind of emotionally. So you go, I really loved what happened there, and I want to be a part of that more of. Do you know what I mean? And I think that gets into you, and you go, how can I change my life to be more of that when you come back?
And you sort of feel like it doesn't,
it's nothing, you know?
Yeah, and it doesn't, in a really strange way, it doesn't fulfill you because it makes you feel like you're constantly wandering, looking for stuff all the time. I still feel that now, you know, always looking for like...
Yeah, but that's the thing. If
meaning.
You're not, but it is. But if you're not happy in the surroundings, then you're always seeking. You're always trying to find something, aren't you? So, and you just want, because you had such a connection with that. You go. That's why some people move away and live there. Mm-hmm. But you got to remember when you go there, that's your life from now on. Yeah, the sun's great, but then you sit in traffic in the sun and it's too hot. Yeah, and then the air conditioning. And then that just becomes your daily problems. People are always trying to escape the problems, you know. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you know what it is? I could talk to you forever about this kind of stuff. I didn't expect it to take this direction.
I know.
It's really cool. Nice. But we've got to ask some questions.
We do have to ask some questions. I'm going to dumb it right down for you, Laura.
Thanks.
That's my job.
You'll get where we're coming from. You get where we're coming from.
I'll bring you right back down to the sheepfolds in Sunderland. From Africa to Sunderland. Here we go. Yeah. So we've got a menu here, and we're asking people. You have to ask the Greg's order,
right?
But just pick something from there if you want to have a little scan.
Whatever you like.
Whatever you like.
And interpret them whatever way you want.
Anything you want. We've left a slight of mysteriousness about them. Mysteriousness.
Yeah.
Mysteriousness.
Should I start with the Greg's order?
Aficionado.
Aficionado.
Because Cy King said it in the first. Aficionado, and I was like,
Tim, you look more intelligent than me. Is it aficionado or aficionado?
It's a fishy.
There's no hard letter in that.
Yeah, it's aficionado.
A fish.
But also, it's not mysteriousness either. It's just mystery.
It's mystery, aficionado. Yeah, Cy King said about tea. I was trying to find tea connoisseur. That's what I was trying to do, and then Cy King went off onto proper tea, and I'm talking about Ringtons, and you was like, well, what kind? I'm like, well, tea. So I was like, so I made myself look fantastic on that one. So yeah, I'm trying to justify myself. Now you hear this, Laura. This is me justifying myself because I've been thinking about it since that time. But it's gold. I always have the gold and 2 tea bags. Yeah, that doesn't go down well with somebody who's travelled the world. And
2 tea
What?
bags.
2 tea bags? I'm a 2 tea bagger.
Yeah, Kathy
Really?
Burke, 2
Yeah.
tea bags. Yeah,
I never drink
got-
tea.
saves the stewing.
Got to be
Saves the
dark
stew.
orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be dark orange, and you got to be tasting that tea, you know. So
gotta
proper
be-
builders like
Yeah.
that.
Not just that, but Dan's milk is the weirdest. I've never known anyone like Dan for tea milk.
Like what the ratios?
Just these.
Well, you've got
I
to put
remember
it
he
in
showed
half
us.
because it's
Oh, yeah.
different, then you got to judge it on
So
the- on
I
the
used to
colour.
work.
Oh, yeah.
We used to work in a shop together, and it was like making the teas for the guys.
It's a
and
long
stuff.
time ago. Huh?
I was like, but I'm
my
sure you.
team, my team might have changed. Come on, then, Tim, let's go.
I remember Dan showed us. He was like, "No. You have to do it like this." And he would get the little bottle of milk, and he'd put a drop of milk into the cap, just like and then a drop of that in the cup, and it'd just be like, "That's it. It's just got to be. It's seen some
Very
milk."
precise.
It was a kind of the
Like
same.
critical control point.
It was, yeah. Well, that's the thing when somebody else is making you tea and stuff like that for you, you got to be very particular. I've had it before when you've gone like a Starbucks and you're on the road and stuff like that. You're in a service station. Can I have a tea, please? Yeah. Can I put the milk in? Then they put the milk in by mistake. I'm like, oh. And then she slides it over, and it's like milky. It's like, I was going to say the colour of your jacket there, but we can't say. It's like the colour of a sheep. That's what it looks like. So it's really
nothing makes
milky.
you more resentful than a bad cup of tea.
But how can you tell somebody, and you feel bad to go, I really can't drink that? I said, look, I'm sorry, I can't drink that. So now I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't drink that. But I did ask, can I
Yeah.
put it in myself?
That's
you know
fair
what I mean?
enough.
Some people just slide it along. Do you want to put it in yourself? I'm like, fantastic, thank you
Yeah.
very much. You understand the world. Do you know what I mean? And everybody's, specific tastes. But I used to have to make photography assistant, all that kind of stuff. I had to make a room of people, 7 or 8 different cups of tea and coffee.
Yeah.
And you have to get that right. Why? Because they'll tell you if they don't like that, right?
Exactly.
So
But how? 'Cause yours
I got
is
used
right.
to doing that. I got used to doing that. But Tim, just to come back to you, yes, I do very similar. But that's when you're showing somebody, just do this, and then you're safe. If you just do a cup in there, you're safe. There's no.
It's like
but-
mixing paint. You
know.
can't go back if you put too much
No,
milk
you
in.
can't go back. But when you try, if you ever try to do that, you go, oh, let's, when the coffee machine's run out and you got a half a cup, you
Oh, it
go,
doesn't
I'll
work.
do a half one. It doesn't work. You might as well chuck it out and
Well,
start.
have
from
you
scratch.
tried
That's
it? I've
waste.
stupidly, right?
I've done that.
And I've repeated the mistake. That's the thing. I know if you make the tea too milky, putting another tea bag in doesn't fix
No,
it.
it tastes
But
like
I still
strong
try
milk
it
tea.
and
Every
go,
time.
oh, man.
But you're thinking it's just a couple of tea bags. I'm sure you can afford to kind of just. But for me, it's the waste thing. I don't like the waste.
Yeah.
And it's what bugs us.
Yeah.
But my tea should be the colour of Gordon there. So that's
Mine's the same.
It's a good standard.
Like your mouth's so dry it sticks together afterwards.
I just want that, yeah. But top tip, Kathy
From the
Burke, 2
tannins.
tea
There you go.
bags saves on the faff on. So
Sorry,
on to the
on your
questions now.
menu.
So, did you say do the Greg's one, yeah?
I'll tell you what. Just do something first. Let's kind of have a little
All right,
warm
okay.
up.
Warm up. Yeah.
Warm up.
Ooh.
That's
Curry versus gravy.
oh, it's a popular one.
Yeah.
It's a popular one.
It's a
So,
divisive one.
It's a very divisive one, but this is a chip-based question as well. Curry or gravy with your chips?
Curry. Yeah.
Really?
And are you talking
Curry.
chip shop curry?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Got to be, proper chip shop curry.
Yeah, because it has to be that salty, thick chip shop curry that's almost got its own colour.
Yeah.
It's almost like an army green
Like,
colour
yes,
kind of
yeah,
colour.
definitely.
With a
And
few
no
little...
sneaking raisins into it and stuff like
No,
that.
you
'cause that's
can't
happened
do-
a couple of times.
That was my finish the night out meal.
Yes.
Cheesy chips with curry sauce.
With
Cheesy
curry?
chips?
Cheesy
Yeah.
with curry
Or
sauce?
cheesy
I'm
chips and
now-
garlic sauce as
now
well.
okay.
With cheesy chips. I
Right.
used to have a friend who had cheesy chips,
We're off.
cheesy chips, gravy and garlic sauce. All in one.
See, look at I told you it's a thing. It's a thing.
Hang on,
It's a thing.
hang on.
Right? I'm not alone, right, in
Can't say it.
mixing condiments or mixing sauces.
Mixing
Because I do
condiments.
sometimes.
I thought she was a heathen, like. I'll not lie. I was like, this
Well,
is...
we've had issues on this subject.
Several
the
times.
curtain draws here, right? And you got to peek over and go, this chop here, both at the same time.
I could not mixed together, but I could have them in the same vessel. I could have gravy
Yeah.
on one side, and I wouldn't.
Then at one point, what?
so they will
It's
connect
like the
at some
partner
point,
of the Red
and then I
Sea.
wouldn't. That would just be a slice of bread at the end.
Good point.
Yeah.
for the
But-
flavour bomb of curry and gravy meeting and colliding at once.
But for me, it's choices. So the chips, right? So you mentioned cheesy chips, curry on top. Are you tasting that cheese through the curry or not?
But when you get to the bottom, you would, yeah. Or you'd have that like layer of cheese.
See, I like that.
Yeah.
So
And I've never tried it.
because the
You
cheese
have
is
to have
almost
it
like
after a few pints.
it's
like.
almost solid.
Yeah.
It tastes so much better.
Yeah.
it goes almost solid like a pizza topping
Yeah.
cheese, doesn't it? Yeah, and you can kind of it's got
What
a
you
bite
want,
to it.
what you want after a couple of pints.
cheese on.
Yeah, definitely.
The thing is, yeah, it's where you are at the time. These kind of
yeah,
things.
definitely.
You know, you're sitting on the seafront is different to having 10 pints.
It's
and going
almost,
out
it's
for
almost
laughs,
the type
you
of
know
thing
what I
that
mean?
you have to eat alone because you know you're going to make noises when you're eating it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or just the shame of like whatever you ordered, to be honest.
Yeah, but when you're drunk, you know what? It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
That's why, like,
Your inhibitions are away.
I've told you my drunk story with. This is inappropriate, but I've wanted to mention it on each podcast
How
so far.
inappropriate?
At Christmas, I used to have a Christmas night out with a pal, right?
Okay.
And you get to that point, especially if you've been out like since 4 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon. I couldn't do that now, but like 10 years ago,
Oh, yeah, of course.
right? And we'd go to the top of Pink Lane, where that little chip shop is,
yeah.
because they do nice fish cakes. I think I might have told you this privately. I was crossing the road, and the fish cake fell out of my hand into a puddle,
Oh,
and
no.
I picked it up and ate it in anger, like in the street. I did. Honestly, I know this is a confessional,
It is,
confessional
but
process.
The thing is, there's
but
nuance.
but
though.
I did it.
There's nuance.
It held the vinegar though.
How big was the puddle?
Like, so-
how much? How much
sure
did
that
it
was
go
vinegar?
in? It held the
No, so
vinegar. Hang on.
you're on the sort
there
of
we go.
you're on the sort of 3 second rule territory here.
All right, okay,
So
that's all right. Yeah.
I mean, it rolled.
It's not
Right.
exactly pizza top down. in gravel,
No.
is
It
Do you know
didn't.
what I
It
mean?
did.
It's
I
not
wouldn't.
that.
I wouldn't say it rested
Right.
in the puddle.
Didn't have time.
I would say it met with the puddle, right? And it probably took on some of the puddle, but not enough to destroy its integrity as a fish cake.
But was it a full fish cake?
Oh, no, I think it was bitten into already, so it had an absorption point.
Sorry, but it depends on.
Right. I don't think I've ever described it like that, but it did.
The thing is, it's all about the details, isn't it? About these things. If it's your last bite and you drop it, I mean, the puddle's going to take
no,
it.
man.
The puddle is going to take it. Yeah, it's gone. Right.
But it was
bye
the first
bye.
step.
Wave it off. Wave it off on its merry little way down the street.
It was
you
the
know.
first step when you're in a
Nothing
drunken
worse.
state, you're really excited about eating it.
Well, of course, yeah, because you've been waiting in that chip shop for that, and you've been thinking about this. You've probably been thinking about this for about 2 hours. We all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
Picking it up.
I mean, I apologise for it publicly.
I mean, going
I can't guarantee it wouldn't happen again. But
sticking with that because we've never gone into this one of these questions on the list. We'll come back to the gravy and curry debate.
I told you
'cause
we'd
need
do
to,
this.
right? We need to put a pin in it, Tim. Remind us on.
keep us on track. Come
Right, keep us on track. Dropping something, your 3 second rule. I know I'm calling it a 3 second rule, but people have got a sliding
Yeah.
scale of 3 seconds. Are you going 1 Mississippi? Are you doing that? Are you going 1, 2, 3?
I think it depends where you are.
Right.
on. And the
If it's in a
surface it
puddle,
drops
it's
on.
different. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I did mention pizza top down in gravel. You're done. You need,
Oh.
you need,
Oh,
some,
yeah,
you need
that's
somewhere to wash it off.
Yeah.
But if you had somewhere to wash it off, would you do it?
Depends on the. Yeah, it depends how much of the
Yeah,
integrity of the pizza.
what's an acceptable contaminant? like
acceptable
if it fell on a
contaminant?
dog hair or an ashtray, like
yeah.
it's going in the bin
Yeah.
immediately, right? And the ashtray.
An ashtray. You know, we had 1993
I was thinking
Workman's
of like
Club.
working men's clubs
yeah,
on a Saturday night when they bring that one chicken wings in.
No, but all you're dropping in there is a sausage roll and a comb and
Yeah.
a flan or
And,
something.
and
you know?
chicken wings.
Yeah.
There's often chicken
Oh,
wings.
to say you've beers, isn't it? That kind of, you know, and you have a buffet at a Workman's Club. A mate of mine, he's allergic to peanuts, and at night, you know, you go to one of these parties, the music's blasting, you're about 3 or 4 in, allergic to peanuts, so he just throw peanuts at him. But he had turnips, right? And at the end of the night, he rolled them out, there's loads of peanuts. Peanuts fell out, so we called them peanut catchers. We called them turnips peanut catchers. So there's a running joke from then on. Are you wearing your peanut catchers? You know what I mean? So yeah, but he was all right, you know.
I have
He would still have
So
a
your
hate.
surface.
Yeah, sorry,
Sorry.
we're off on
Not quite a
tangent.
puddle, but I remember coming back. Well, I was coming back from a day drinking session in York, and we'd been stuck. There'd been a signal failure, and we were stuck on the platform in York for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, this needs to be known, isn't it? Because it's about
Yeah.
the situation here.
for some reason, had a hip flask in my bag, so we were all sharing that with everyone sat around there in the corner.
That was great.
Yeah.
I mean, hip flask.
And then all I remember is someone went, well, we went to go and try and get a Burger King. And they literally shut the door in our face when we're closed. And one of the girls was like screaming, Hansie, you've still got chips in there.
I'm actually crying inside for that situation.
Is that because you're a bunch of drunken women?
Yes.
Yeah. What was your hip flask, very quickly?
Rum at the time.
Oh, nice.
Nice shout. I was thinking about that.
That's aficionado's flask.
Aficionado's
It was nice
flask,
rum as well.
rum,
I'd not long been back from Cuba, so it was like proper Havana,
Did you
like
step
nice
off your,
stuff,
Did
yeah.
you step off your pirate ship? That's the only time you have rum, isn't it?
Well, we all went round the platform and we sat there for a bit. And there was
That's what rum.
Can we start telling jokes about what's a pirate's favourite letter?
What's a pirate's favourite?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Go on.
One of the girls went, I'm going to go and have a look at the vending machine and see what's in there. So she toddled off round, she came back, she went, it's broken. And she just had like arms full of crisps and chocolate bars. But then everyone heard her. So everyone goes round and starts looting this vending machine.
It's like excited kids at school, isn't it? Quick,
Shaking it and that, trying to get the extra one off the bottom.
So that was fun.
Because
Because there's a full train worth of people now looting this vending machine sat in this platform. Of
course.
We were trying to see whether Domino's would deliver a pizza to the station. All of this was going on. Anyway, couldn't. Eventually got on this train 3.5 hours later. I say 3.5 hours. It might not have even been that long. But when you're that drunk and you're that hungry, it felt like 3.5 hours. Pulled back into Central Station. I was like, where can I get food? Greg's over the road. So went and got...
The lights are on.
Went and got I'd only had one steak bake left. I was like, I'll have that. Went and got in the taxi, and I remember being so, obviously still drunk, conscious that I can't let this taxi man know I've got a pasty because he'll not let us in the taxi.
No food, not taxi. No.
Even though it was like I wasn't planning on eating it until I got.
But it's
got
a pasty
home.
in a contraband bakery. How are you hiding that noise?
Exactly.
That's a noisy implement. Isn't it?
It is.
In my head, I'm going to tuck it in my jacket. Take my jacket. It was freezing. I'm going to tuck it in my jacket and get in the. For some reason, I didn't do a very good job of tucking it in my jacket. I opened the door, went to go and get in. The pasty just slid straight out of the packet onto the floor in the taxi. So I had to go and like try and casually pick this steak bake off the floor, slide it back into the thing, and try. He obviously noticed, but he probably just felt sorry for us. So I was just sat there like with this pasty tucked down the side of the seat, waiting to get out of the thing, and then waiting to like
pasty shame.
Yeah, but I'd been on the floor of a taxi, so that was pretty grim. So.
She saved the bake.
Save the bake. The Save the Bake campaign.
The Save the Bake campaign.
It went through my head. I was like, can I go back in? Have I got time? Is he that annoyed? Can I order one when I get there? I was like, no, I need to pick it back up.
That's
just a
hunger
second
right there.
though. That's a really good point though, right? About just to pick on a really bit of small detail. The packets. Why are they so noisy?
Yeah.
I know.
Like
You
can't. You could like if you're trying to hide a pasty from the kids and that because it's yours.
It's like
there's no way they hear it straight away.
And you have to eat it over something. You got to kind of
Yeah.
lean forward.
Patting you down in that.
Like,
You carrying a pasty there.
all over you, yeah. I know, patting you down. Yeah, there's no way smuggling. Smuggling a pasty. That's really new skill. Yeah. Right, this week we're doing a smuggling.
Trousers, pasty smugglers.
Pasty smuggling.
Side pockets everywhere.
Not
Should do
jackets.
that with Fadney. A pasty smuggling workshop.
Yeah.
How to smuggle certain food.
Contraband patisserie.
Contraband patisserie. Yeah, that's great. That. Fantastic.
Right, sorry, we haven't even got yet chips and gravy.
Sorry.
I know.
So we're back to the cheesy chips with curry. Are you having batter on? Are you putting salt and vinegar on? What do you think?
Gotta have batter.
Gotta
I'm not
have
too.
batter.
If I just had plain chips, I'd have a bit of vinegar. But
Cheese on the batter. What happens to the batter when the cheese is on? I think I've only ever had them oven cheese, them pizza shop cheesy chips. I've only ever had that. I've never had chip shop cheesy chips with batter. I've never had that before. So cause
it's not the same, is it? Because
No, they're not.
the
They're very
cheese isn't
different.
the same. Yeah, but I can imagine the batter and the cheese being just like crispy.
Oh, I think it sounds amazing.
It sounds really
crispy,
nice.
aye.
Yeah.
It's Texas again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is.
It is. And curry sauce. I don't think I've ever had cheesy chips or anything on top of that. Ketchups. So sorry, you having salt and vinegar?
Not vinegar if it's got cheese on.
Not
If
vinegar
it was
with
just plain
cheese on.
chips, I'd go with vinegar.
Well, it would trickle down like a mountain, wouldn't it? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wouldn't
Just slide
it wouldn't
all over the
absorb. It
place,
just
yeah.
be like sitting in the tray, wouldn't it? Kind of soaking up the bottom too. You know. Oh, that last
Like
bit
an
of real-
umbrella,
real
cheese
soggy
umbrella.
vinegar,
Oh,
kind of. It's like a sponge, kind of vinegar sponge, isn't it? Oh.
See, I love that though.
Okay. All right.
Sorry,
Okay. So yeah,
got a
all
big
right.
flavour problem. I like.
Are you a gravy fan though?
I do like gravy. I've got to be in the mood for it, I think.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I think gravy's like number one, you know?
But sometimes it's not safe. You only get like really
You
bad
get bad
gravy,
gravy,
and it's
oh,
not
yeah.
savoury enough, and you're looking for like you're looking for it to
watery
taste
and-
like gravy, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just thick.
There's many
Yeah.
there's many a different gravy, isn't there? There's the Chinese gravy, right?
You're just
There's the
rolling
chip
off
shop.
names of books here.
There's
Many a
chips-
different
there's
gravy.
many
Volume
different
one.
gravy. I know I'm getting poetic now. And then you've got your Sunday dinner gravy, so they're all variations in different gravies, aren't they?
I mean, they're not
So-
jus.
jus, right. A jus to me is watered down and it just rolls off your food. You want it sticking. You want it sticking.
For gravy. Or for
So
jus.
for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I mean, jus just like the run off juice, isn't it?
No,
In the pan,
It's
you
got
just put
different
all.
flavour
proper
to it,
jus.
though,
It's
yeah.
like a proper jus. Once it's set on a plate, it may as well be welded on.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Because
you
it
know
takes
who you're
about
talking
48.
about,
It takes about 48 hours. I'm going to give you.
I'm
I'll
pulling
give
out
you
the sophistication.
Jus
I'm going back there,
101
yeah.
takes
Yeah.
about 48
Jus,
hours to
yeah.
make, and a gigantic
yeah.
stock pot that is reduced down for hours and hours and
Yeah.
hours and hours.
I
So it
would-
turns to jelly.
I just think jus is one of those that has to have red wine kind of reduced down in it. Do you know what I mean? That's how I associate with it. You know, we've all seen, you know, Great British
But
Bake
the
Off
base
and
of the
all
jus. Sorry, can't help it now.
This is where Chris gets a new nickname here. Chris Jewett.
That's a good one, that.
Yes, Tim.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right,
Chris
now-
Very
Jewett.
well.
So now this is going to be a new merch item now, isn't it?
Oh, that's my sort of highbrow name. I have to keep the glasses on for that one.
Oh, right. So when you're
Yeah,
doing
Chris
like,
Jewett.
yeah, it depends on the room that you're going to do a talk in, and then you put the glasses on, Chris Jewett.
Funny enough, actually, as an aside, that was my championship manager name on the computer game. Because I thought it made me come across more exotic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say Jewett, it was Jewel. Chris Jewel with a K.
So yeah. So if you manage like PSG or something like that,
No, it was always Gateshead.
Gateshead.
Because I wanted to start at the bottom and prove that, like, through grassroots approach, I could take them to the very, very top.
Yeah, but
I never did. I
Hugh
got the
doesn't
first
sound like
win.
he's been brought up in the grassroots. Do you know what I mean?
No,
He's
I know
been-
because
he's been brought in.
like me and Laura, we went
needs a
away
job.
and we came back.
Yeah.
Went
We went away and we came back. Different people.
changed. Yeah.
I was the braided manager.
Yeah. You go away, one spicy curry and a plantain, and you come back different.
Standing on the
Only
sidelines
name.
with braids in my goatee.
yeah, no hair. Yeah,
I've got to keep that, by the way.
Yeah,
great.
it's a good
Definitely.
that's lovely. Thanks, Tim.
Pen name for the
Tell you
recipe book.
Oh, right. So,
God. Going through some discoveries
one.
here.
No.
I think we've covered that one, haven't we?
Right, okay.
Yeah, it was like
Have you got
20
another one you want to
20-minute
pick?
Was it
question.
the Greg's one? Did you want us to do? Or...
Go on, what's your Greg's order?
See, it's not actually a steak bake. It's just sausage roll.
Is it?
But I love their gingerbread men as well. Like
Do
I'm
you?
a bit
Okay.
obsessed with their gingerbread men.
Would you ever buy them both together?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
So you're going in, you're getting a sausage roll, and you're getting a gingerbread man.
Yeah.
Are you buying a drink?
Yeah. I'll normally stick with like a soft drink, but I do like they do the peppermint mockers at Christmas time, and they're really nice.
I've never had a peppermint
Okay.
mocker from there.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I get it with a gingerbread. Is that not too kind of? Do you lose a flavour on one or the other or not?
I'd probably maybe do one or the other of them.
Okay.
Yeah, but gingerbread's nice in a cup of
Is-
coffee.
Is the purchase time constrained? Does it happen in the morning? Does it happen in the afternoon? Can it happen any time?
Gingerbread would be like 11s, I would say.
11s?
Yeah.
11s is
Sausage roll will be lunchtime. Yeah, depends what
Chris
time.
Jouot approves of 11s.
But if you get them both together, then you are you getting your 11s and then are you keeping the sausage roll for later or what?
It depends if it's come out hot or not.
All right, okay.
Yeah, if it's hot, you've got
Oh.
to eat it there and then, haven't you?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Just so it just takes one layer off the roof of your mouth.
Okay. Because some people because usually the sausage roll is like the travel or the thing you eat on the way to going back to where you're going to eat your actual food which you bought.
It's thinking fuel towards the next meal.
Well, we call like pocket mates. Do you know
Pocket
what I mean?
meats,
So
yeah.
it's pocket mates, so it's like a pocket snack.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, yeah, because Cy King said, well, of course, it goes in your pocket like that. So he did the old whistle.
Yeah.
It's quite nice way to do it, right? And you skyrocket, he said. So yeah, it's usually the sausage roll is the thing you go, and the sausage roll, because you're getting your main thing and then and the sausage roll. So your main thing is the sausage roll.
Yeah, you can't beat a sausage roll.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
There you go, on the t-shirt. You can't beat the sausage roll. You can't, though. It's a
No.
classic. Yeah.
You try the vegan one.
Yeah, I do quite like the vegan
Yeah,
ones.
they're good.
I love the events they've been doing with Fennec and stuff as well. I think they're great. Oh, they're
You
like-
went, didn't you?
Yeah,
to the,
yeah.
the first one. I
Yeah,
went as well.
the champagne one was great as well.
Oh, have you done the champagne one?
Yeah.
Have you done any kind of stuff for Greg's?
I've done some.
Have
done
they
some
invited
events,
you
yeah.
in to go?
Probably the most random one was they had a rave in the Northumberland Street Greg's.
Okay.
Oh, when they had the DJ behind the counter.
And they were shooting sausage rolls out with confetti cannons
Right.
at
Okay.
people.
Yeah.
That was That was a moment. On a Tuesday night at 10 o'clock on Northumberland Street.
Well, yeah. The thing is, I'm like 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. Right, that makes sense, doesn't it? So,
No, that was good fun.
yeah, I'm surprised they got sign off on that thing. I put out with a sausage roll.
I don't think they were meant
Then
to
you
be
could-
doing it,
yeah.
but a bit of a
I was
health
gonna
and
say,
I mean,
safety.
I'm kind of wanting to see, like,
Bit
you
of
know,
pastry.
November Rain, the video with Guns N' Roses when they're all kind of
Yeah.
eating outside and it starts raining
Yeah.
and they're jumping over tables and that in slow motion. I've got this vision of people getting shot at with sausage rolls on Northumberland Street and looking for places to hide and everything. And
A game of dodgeball with sausage rolls. Yeah, I can see
Dodge
that.
roll.
Being, yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
was
but it's like
carnage.
catching
just
it.
feed
But it's
that into the
catching
marketing
it.
team
but
at Greg's
catching
Dodge roll.
Yeah.
catching it midair. You got to get some extra points or something like that.
I did actually get a video clip of someone like literally leaping
Really?
up and just catching it. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Hopefully
Nothing
it's not like
wasted.
straight out the oven and they're like that.
that's
Sorry, that one's straight out the oven.
burns your hands like slow mo. Oh yeah. Cool. Okay, right.
Yeah, Greg's events are always brilliant, like really
Yeah,
good.
that sounds like a bit
It
of
just
fun.
got gradually more anarchic over the years, though.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember
But where do you go
the
with it,
the
you know?
Christmas one with
The Baby Jesus.
Jesus
Yeah.
roll? And then they did when they flipped the logo around for
Yes,
Phoenix Window.
yeah,
that
was good.
that was
The
pretty smart.
The Baby Jesus one, I remember my uncle, because my auntie was quite religious and she used to put a nativity scene up every year at Christmas, but she wouldn't put the little baby Jesus in until Christmas Eve. But he just used to put random inanimate objects in the manger for like. So she came down one morning, it was like a frozen prawn there. Like,
See, that's
I know.
inspiration,
That
right?
is, yeah.
So
No,
why
definitely.
can't,
Yeah, I like it.
if Phoenix and Greg's are collaborating, they should do a Greg's Phoenix Window,
that would be epic.
like a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
sort of
Yeah, full
Yeah.
scene.
like a universe
Yeah.
of Christmas,
Full scene.
pasty
That would be
towers and
amazing.
that, and you know,
Santa's
When
just
it-
got
you know-
sacks full of rustling papers.
Santa's bakery.
Three wise men or three gingerbread men on the back of on some camels or something like that. You're not stealing that. That's all right there. Right, collab on this one. Oh, we can go all day with this.
Amazing.
Yeah, that would
Is
be
there any?
amazing, that,
Oh,
wouldn't it?
yeah.
You're just thinking of all the items in that store that you could
Yeah.
do with it. you
Right,
know,
we'll take
so,
this
yeah.
one offline, guys. Right?
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Fantastic. That's great.
Is there any other questions on that you want to pick?
Anything
up?
else? One more. We tend to do three. Well, we'll try and do three if we've got the time.
Should we do first pint?
Oh,
Ooh,
yes.
Come on
That's a
then.
good
Right.
Are we talking first legal pint or first pint?
We can
I
bleep.
don't know.
Do we have to bleep it out? I mean, we
Why
were
not
like,
to bleep that out?
we were drinking on school fields at 14. Do you know what I mean? Let's put it out.
Yeah, we
that's
were.
That's how we
I was
were
clubbing
raised,
when I was
okay?
15.
Exactly. I told you
Yeah.
the school trousers with the zips on. Yeah.
I'm trying to
Fake
think.
IDs.
I think I'd probably
Dress pants.
Just pants. White shirt.
probably a house party, I would say.
Yeah?
House
yeah,
party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have people, because I've, parents who worked away, so used to have people
Ah.
around a lot.
The Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man, there's always one friend with the parents going away. You never do it at your
Liberal
own
friends.
house, right? You
No.
got to do it
Yeah.
at somebody else's house.
See, I had pretty sound mates because they would be like, we know that if we like trash the place, we'll never get invited back. So they even used to help us clean up.
It is, but it's kind of there's a level. I remember a party. This is we're going to kind of relate to bananas before. So I remember we all somebody had a party in the grandparents' house. So I can't remember how old we were, probably 17, 18, and rammed with people. But this was a stop off, and when people who they didn't know turn up, well, we all weren't the people who they knew.
Yeah.
So we came in, and they had a lovely kind of display on the wall of the china like bowls and plates and all these things. And there was 2 pistols, 2 guns on the wall. So we took them off and replaced them with bananas. And we thought this was very hilarious. So that's
going
as
to Phoenix
anarchic
Window
as
as
we
well.
went with that.
Yeah, Phoenix Window.
2 bananas, 2 sausage rolls, kind of
Yeah.
like holsters, yeah. So
So what did you drink then? What was it? Do you
what
remember?
was it? Was it
I used to
pint
drink,
or
I was probably cider at that age. Yeah, it was
Cider.
probably
Gateway.
Strongbow. Yeah.
Strongbow, or you go woodpecker?
Oh, probably would have been Woodpecker actually.
It's
back then,
generational,
yeah.
that, because
Yeah.
Woodpecker was the cider, wasn't it?
Woodpecker was sweet, and then you used to get Scrumpy Jack if you want to get drunk quick.
Yeah.
But it was dry, like you get cotton mouth like that.
Yeah,
like
you did.
Scrumpy Jack, so yeah.
Yeah,
But
probably cider.
Woodpecker was the best. 2020, were you 2020 girl or not?
2020.
No, I don't think.
We were too
Yeah, we
old.
were.
I think we were older generation.
Aftershock, bottles of sours was.
Okay.
Aftershock.
Yeah.
Aftershock. I actually quite like Aftershock.
Yeah.
Do you remember Smirnoff Mule?
Smirnoff what? And
Mule.
Mule. Moscow Mule. It was
Oh,
like
no.
ginger.
It
and
kind of
vodka.
it came and went. It was delicious because we went to remember.
But it was based on the Moscow Mule.
Was it
Co-
really?
Cocktail.
Because we went to Tall Trees. We just got to Tall
Let's
Trees
go
on
to Told
stage.
Us for a posh night out.
A posh night out. It's quite everyone on,
Mini
everyone on,
bus. We used to get
everyone on
mini
the
bus from
yeah.
heaven.
Now everybody on the coach. Do you know what I mean? You just get picked up. But that's Smirnoff Mule days. But then it just disappeared, and they brought out ice, Smirnoff ice, and I was like, it's not mule.
Yeah.
But it's an unusual flavour. It was more like a champagne-y kind of coloured bottle. It was like full top to bottom, like wrap.
No.
For the classy drinker.
Yeah.
For the classy drinker. Well, yeah, you have 10
Maybe I
of
haven't
them.
Smirnoff Ice a lot. There was a lot of Smirnoff Ice at those parties.
So your first drink was probably cider.
Yeah, probably.
It's a thing that you can. It's just something that's sweet enough for you to drink, and then you end up getting drunk, and you go, "Oh, that was fun," because you don't want like Scrumpy Jack or Kestrel, because that's just stuff to get you drunk.
Yeah.
Kestrel was effective.
It was effective, but it wasn't tasty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So what do you drink now? What's your kind of tipple
Now,
now?
I do like IPAs and I like good craft beers and stuff like that. Yeah.
I agree. I like a good
Yeah.
craft beer. I haven't had one for a while, but I was a red wine and a pale kind of IPA kind of person.
Big fan of whiskey as
Stouts.
well.
Yeah,
Me
whiskey.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we chatted about it on the last
Whiskey.
podcast.
We
Yes.
did, huh? Yeah.
Nick Barnes, the football commentator, who does BBC Radio.
Oh yeah.
He loves whiskey.
Whiskey. I do.
Yeah,
love
big
whiskey.
whiskey
He's a
fan.
whiskey man. Yeah. What's your favourite?
I do. I love actually that I'd get for in the Tackenborough. I've got the limited edition one that I had out last Christmas, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, when you ask like people who, when their whole lives are around food and drink, when you ask them to choose something, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because my taste changes on a daily basis.
It depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah,
Completely.
completely.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not going to say what's your favourite. It's kind of what's your tipple, as in what are you into now? Because throughout the years you do change on what your tastes
I
are.
love good cocktails as well.
Okay.
Like, I'm a huge fan of a really good proper cocktail.
Cause I talk about it every week. I love a Negroni.
Yeah, I do like a Negroni.
I like a proper.
I love me and my other half. We always the top 50 cocktail bars and stuff. Whenever we go, say he travels a lot for work, so I normally like try and go down for a night or whatever. We'll always go and try and visit all the top 50s and stuff. I think we did quite well last year. I think we managed to tick off quite a few. But yeah, love going there and trying their specials or their twists on stuff and things like that. It was nice. Yeah.
Very nice.
It's a good excuse, isn't it? Yeah. Is that your favourites when you get invited to those?
I've never been invited to
Have you
cocktail
not?
bars. No, Mother Mercy when they first opened was probably the only real like Vampire Rabbit in town. I've been there recently.
I've not
as well.
been there.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a good name. That's a good name. It's a band name, that name.
Yeah,
Vampire
Vampire
Rabbit.
Rabbit,
That's a good one.
We've got to start noting down these band names because we've come up with loads.
We've got loads of band names. I'm
It's
forgetting
like
them all,
Plan
but,
B.
Yeah.
Yeah, now playing the Sheepfolds, it's like there's loads of them. if you check out our WhatsApp chain, it's absolutely mental, chaos and crazy. But say it's a good shout out. Look down that camera lens there and go, oh, can you invite me to all of your cocktail parties,
yeah.
please? You know what I mean?
I'll review cocktail bars, no problem.
Cool, excellent. I love it. Great. Well, I think I'll round off on a nice, perfect.
That is. I really enjoyed that.
No, it's
That's
great.
great.
Yeah,
Fun. Thanks
really
for having
good.
us.
Thanks very much,
No,
Laura.
you too.
Brilliant. Thank you.
We do a selfie Polaroid.
Oh, right,
yeah.
If you're up for that.
Yeah.
I've got to do a
That's
selfie pic. Lovely.
Good stuff.
Excellent. Thank you
I've
very
got
much.
to drag out the seat properly because I lunge out of it when I've been watching
Try to
them.
help you up.